Great.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Careers from the Kitchen Table, the show that teaches you how to cook without the cooking, giving you some good old home recipes for your business success. Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm Raven, the talk show maven, known by many as Queen of Internet Radio and interview conversion. And I'm excited because I have the business and branding strategist, digital marketer, and all around good guy. I know him as Periscope Ryan, but his name is Ryan Steinelson. I'm so excited. He's the very first person I plugged into on Periscope, loved his scopes, and said immediately, he is an icon in this industry. I've watched him, and he just really led us the right way with getting the right equipment, which is half the battle of this thing, knowing what to use, sounding good. You got to have that great quality, but also he's really good at getting those things called hearts. In fact, let me cut my heart light on here. So that he's really good at getting those hearts, and he's good at expanding his reach, turning his, I like to say, his listeners into fans and fans into buyers. So we're going to be talking to him and following him. We got Africa, Miranda, and also we have Alex Khan. So it's going to be great next 3 hours. So stick with us, stick and stay. And we're excited. Hi, Regina. Hey, Mary Smith Moore. Hey, all the hosts and all the people on both Blab and Periscope. I'm going to say I'm sorry right up front because I'm going to have to turn this there so you can see him. You don't want to see me and hear me. You want to talk to him. We're also broadcasting on AWOP Talk, my station, Amazing Women of Power. So hello, and give everybody a shout out there. Awesome. So let's get this party started. Ryan, I'm so glad to have you here.
Wow, I am too.
I'm excited.
I'm blown away. You're the real deal. You got the whole intro. You've been doing this for a while. I can tell. You're a pro, and I'm just excited to be a part of your show and to see what kind of value I can add to your listeners. So I'm really excited.
Oh, well, thank you, first of all, for saying yes, because that's half the battle, getting out there and saying yes. I'm saying half the bottle. No, you don't need a bottle, Raven. You got water. I want to start off because I really believe people don't really care about what you know, Brian, until they know, my friend, how much you care. So why are you so passionate about live streaming and all the digital technology? What led you there?
Okay, that's a good question. For me, that's a good question. For years, I was working as my first life, I like to say, I was a pharmaceutical rep. I was in biotech sales, and this was going on 8 or 9 years ago, and I did that from when I graduated from college, University of Florida, until then. About 8 years ago. And finally I was like, you know what? I was top of my, in terms of sales in the company. And I was like, you know what? I want to do something on my own because I was, 1 year I was basically flat and I didn't grow that much. And so I was let go. And a lot of times, when you have the biggest adversity in your life, you have the biggest opportunity. And that's what happened. So I turned that challenge of losing my job into an opportunity, and I didn't see it right away. I was devastated initially because what I did is I actually started and I talked to some of my friends and people that were in digital marketing, and they were like, "Look, why don't you go buy some websites?" I had some money and learn how this thing works. And I was like, "Wow, this is really cool." I learned how these websites, how I could make money, basically starting my own, buying websites and making them better and selling things on them. And then I was like, well, you know what? I can do this for businesses. And so that's what led me down the path of having an agency. And so now I've got my agency here that you can see in the background in San Diego. We serve over 70 clients throughout the world right now. And we do well, and it's fun. I enjoy it because I really like helping businesses take it to the next level. And so now, obviously with live streaming, it's really even taking it one step further. And it's something that I've always wanted to do with live streaming in particular, because, we use things like Google Hangouts in the past, and it was it was partially there. Now with things like Blab and Periscope and Meerkat and, Facebook Live, etc. It's like the sky's the limit. When I show my clients this technology, and it's like I said last night on the Blab that I did, it's like showing them fire for the first time. They're like, They can't even believe it. I mean, it's literally, to be able to take this thing and do the things that we're doing with it, with all the gadgets and stuff that I put on there, and they're just like, they're amazed. I mean, I just got off of a Periscope where, one of my clients was a fire protection company of all things.
Wow.
Yeah, a fire protection company they're showing emergency lighting, and so I guarantee you they're the first fire extinguisher company in the world that's doing what they're doing and creating live Periscope videos that we're repurposing to YouTube and getting them to live on for 24 hours, more than 24 hours, so that they can continue to sell those Periscopes. It's a blast. So we're having fun.
You can always tell you're having fun. I always tell my clients, Brian, you can feel when you're having fun. It's not just talking. People can feel it. They can feel your energy. That's why I was so excited to reach out to you, because I felt your energy. I felt your passion. And I love the tips you give, because you go way beyond just giving tips, I feel, on the right and the proper tools, you can say, or equipment to use. You even do things like on mindset, just how to be authentic. Don't try to be anybody else. You got a lot of different tips. Of course, this is your major one. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because being successful on Periscope or any live streaming, it incorporates a lot more than a technology. You really do have to be authentic, be yourself, and show people the real you. They can spot a fake in a moment. Yes. On Periscope.
Well, yeah, and it's because you can see, with the Olo clip, I'm using the clip here. You can see more of me. You can see my body. You can see, that I'm really bringing it. Like, I'm not just pensive back here. Like, you can tell so much by seeing the whole person, and that's what's so empowering about this live stream technology, and that's the opportunity, I think. For me, is to be able to, as you said, you could be able to share that passion, and yeah, I mean, I think the key is, as one of my attorney friends, Mitch, who's on Blab, said so eloquently, he said, look, people want to see the person behind me, the attorney. They want to know what Mitch does on the weekend with his kids. They want to know what Mitch does in the community. They want to know, and so that form of transparency that's available in live streaming is now a reality, and it's something that where people can get the behind the scenes of who Ryan is and connect with me on different levels, and that's the opportunity. And when people start learning that, that's where the aha moment happens. I mean, Mitch doesn't do any other marketing as an attorney, and by the way, he was the #1 attorney for the state of California for 2013. He's no slouch. He does no other marketing, none of the big billboards, anything like that. And he's absolutely getting phenomenal results from what he's doing just with live streaming and social media. So it can be done, and businesses can really make a huge impact with this kind of technology, live streaming in general. It's really cool.
Yeah, this is a game changer. There's no kidding about that. In fact, I had a wake-up call about this whole thing. My husband had told me about it weeks before, and I kind of dodged it, wanted to bury my head in the sand, so to speak. And then I realized, even though I own a radio station and my hosts are investing to be on part of my station, as a good leader, as a great mentor, what I pride myself on doing, I had to bring this to them. So we're getting ready to have a big old corporate meeting next Monday. And I'm going to share with them. I kind of went out there, fell for it, so to speak, got my feet wet. And then before then it was Blab, so now I'm blabbing and doing both. But now I'm so glad I did, because this is going to not only take them to the next level, it will take the station that I have to the next level as well. I've already seen the numbers increase. And as Zig Ziglar was famous for saying, Ryan, that if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And you just kind of get out of yourself, get out of your head, get out of your thoughts, and just, follow the flow. When technology changed, there's no getting around it, especially when it's this big. Wouldn't you agree? Oh,
no doubt. I mean, and that's the thing. And actually, we just had Jacob in here briefly. He's another guy. He's an attorney. He's the only attorney, by the way, that has a verified account, a verified Facebook account, and he just did 4 Facebook live streams, and he got 4 clients out of it. So, wow. I mean, So if that doesn't tell you, I mean, and I didn't want to like basically steal his thunder, but I'd really love for Jacob to get back in here.
Come on, Jacob.
Yeah, because and that's one, but what's really cool is that, yeah, I mean, it's if people just embrace this technology and really understand the power of it. Yeah, I love attorneys, Andra, and that's the cool thing is that people tell us about Facebook. Well, we'll talk about that later. I'll let Raven's the one who's leading this thing, but there's Jacob. So Jacob just jump back in, and yeah. So what other questions? What was that question that you had again, Raven?
Oh shoot, I forgot now. It's been a while. This is like driving a stick shift. I'm looking at Periscope. You're sounding good though. Stay on point. Andrea's cracking up. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at that. I'm trying to look at my cheat sheet here and still rock it as a host, Ryan.
I know. I don't want to take over but Jacob's.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We really, I'm not structured. I'm not that structured. I know that this is a different community, and we'll talk about Blab in a moment because it's totally different. But both Periscope and Blab, it is all about engaging. And I got to tell you, that was hard for me because when I'm on this mic on the radio, number one, I don't have to get up and put my get up on. You like my hat, Brian?
Yeah.
Really. I don't have to get all dolled up. I've done some of the biggest interviews looking a mess. So that was the first thing I had to conquer. And then the next thing, engaging and, seeing the people's names, which was very hard. I got better glasses now, so I'm seeing good. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. Talk about that.
A lot of moving parts. And that's the thing, like we just experienced. I mean, you've got to be, and there's a balance, and that's the real, like, especially with Periscope, and that's the difference between Periscope and Blab. There's other differences between Periscope and Blab as well, obviously, because you've got multiple people in one room. You can look into people's digital eyeballs in Blab because they're literally, it's like the Brady Bunch. You see people, and you got people below you, people next to you, and everybody can basically see each other, which is really powerful. And it's more of a community. It's more of a collective type conversation. And the comments stream much slower, and you can scroll back and see the comments above. Now with Periscope, as you know, if you have any form of ADD in terms of wanting to keep up with everything, it can be a little overwhelming, especially if you get over 100 people in a room and you've got comments streaming up. It can be, you can. There's a lot of things that can be going on at one time, and the real. I think the opportunity is to, as the person that's leading a Periscope or a live stream where you've got a lot of comments coming in really quick, is to get in, get your point made, and then talk to or add in the comments as they apply to the topic. And so that's the real key for me, because in the beginning I was like trying to get to every single comment. And some of the comments were like, like squirrel. It was like, oh, squirrel, and it's like, and it just takes you totally off topic, and it doesn't have anything to do with the topic at hand. So it's important to make sure that you're engaging with the comments, because that's what this is all about, isn't it? I mean, it's really that's the game changer, because my client that now is this fire protection company that's using Blab. I mean, or that's using Periscope, like they, for the first time, are able to get feedback from people about their products in live, real time.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
And for me, like, I can go in there and I can actually plant little comments saying, hey, why don't you show them this? And it's like me directing the show. It's a really phenomenal tool for somebody like me that has an agency that's bringing my clients along the learning curve as far as how to learn use live streaming for their business. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was speaking with someone that booked a session with me from Blab, and he's in real estate, and he was just ranting and raving about you. He really was, because now you're doing things with the real estate agents, right, to show them how to use Periscope to expand their business. And I used to do real estate. And I got to tell you, if I would have had Periscope years ago, I would have sold a lot more houses and probably still be in it. This is a real game changer for them, isn't it?
I'm thinking about seriously going back. I mean, I get my real estate license because seriously, real estate is a visual, like if you've got the ability to have, just differentiate yourself, like with the lenses, like being able to see that and walk through a property versus that, just that alone, just the actual gadgets, the technology, the tools, like going through and basically you've got Clip now coming out with a whole studio so that basically you can hold your phone like this. There's going to be a little adapter that's going to go over your fingers. You're going to have a hot shoe. You're in the industry, so you're going to have a hot shoe on your case that will allow you to have a fisheye, a fisheye, or widescreen, a widescreen shot for your video. You're going to have a hot shoe for audio, a hot shoe for your lighting, everything in one little case, so that you can walk around as a realtor and do a full, like you're basically like the video guy. I mean, you've got your own
place. Yeah, that's cool.
You got your own studio, and so what's really the level of professionalism, the level of quality has been brought up so much higher than what it was before. And everybody, it's maybe $250, $300 for that studio, but still, it's like, is that worth it to you? It'd be worth it to me.
Absolutely.
It's an investment in my business when it can differentiate you like head and shoulders above your competition. And the key is, as a realtor, and this is what we do. We take that video because, like I mentioned earlier, if you're live streaming, especially on Periscope, it's great that you can get the engagement. You do the walkthrough tour, people comment, can you go back and show that show the fireplace, turn the fireplace on, all that kind of fun engagement. But that video only lives there for 24 hours. It's imperative that you repurpose that video, you get it over to YouTube, and then you do other things with it, like getting people to text their name and email in so that when you do your next scope, you can let them know about it. And you can also text them information about the property, photos, images, things like that, and then retarget them using Facebook advertising. So it's a whole system so that basically it's, that's what we're doing. So we're taking our digital marketing knowledge of retargeting, of YouTube marketing with YouTube cards, so that when somebody and all that stuff, and we're marrying that with the ability to live stream and do this stuff live and do walkthrough tours. It's really that's the low hanging fruit. It's like an obvious, that's the first industry that's obviously going to adopt this stuff. Now we're doing the fire prevention companies and things like that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, everything, it's just changing everything. And as radio host, because I know we have a lot of my hosts listening on Amazing Women of Power, shameless plug, AWAPtalk247.com. Show you right. We got people on Periscope and all over, and to, just tuning in. And for the radio hosts, I'd like to, if you don't mind, speaking to the podcasters, the radio hosts, because, the word is, well, what's happening to radio? I'm like, well, radio's not going to go anywhere. It's been there, but you got to add, hey, Tom, you got to add the new technology with it and learn how to work it together, just like you would add a business and learn how to work it together. Can you talk about that a little bit, Ryan?
Yeah. So you're saying that basically, for radio hosts. Radio hosts, and Mark K does a really good job of doing it. Like he's one of the first guys that I saw, leveraging, the power of live stream. I think, and obviously, there's a lot of radio hosts that are using podcasting. Look, it's about being able to do all of it. A really good example of this is Shailene. So Shailene, I believe her last name is Johnson. She's a social media, expert, and she's done podcasting for a long time. What she's doing now is she's doing live streaming, and every time she does a live stream, she creates a podcast at the same time. So she'll clap her hand and she'll get that spike when she's done, so that the person knows when to edit it. And she's doing, and you can do that. I think you can do all of them at the same time. You can host your radio show, you can do your podcast, you can go live.
Together. Yes.
All at the same time. And that's really you're leveraging just different channels,
Yeah, which you're the king of leveraging. Absolutely. That's it. You got to be able to leverage, as well as you'll find ways to monetize it, which we'll be talking about in a moment. But you're so right. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm airing right now on Amazing Women of Power. You know, we're airing here, we're airing on TiVo or Tybo, whatever it is, and Periscope and some other places that we're syndicated. Now, here's the cool thing about it, especially Blab. Blab's going to send you the audio, it's going to send you the link, and it's going to send you the video. So you have many ways to repurpose stuff. Now, on Periscope, and we'll come back to Blab in a minute, you have your scope is in there for 24 hours. But after that, it goes away. And you can even delete it if you want right afterwards, if you want to repurpose your content. So, you know, you have control. And I think that's the good part about it. And you still own the rights to your stuff, right, Ryan?
Periscope Ryan. You almost said Periscope.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get used to that, Ryan. You're still Periscope Ryan to me.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, and that's you do own the rights to it. And that's why, so my team, what they do is when you do a Periscope we get notified. And so we jump in there, we rip that thing out of there, and we basically make it so that we've got the file. So and what's cool is even for the realtors, when they turn when they go from portrait to landscape, we still get those comments and the hearts to stream up the side of the actual phone there. So we're giving the realtor the ability to be able to show off the house much more effectively, and that's a really important thing. So yes, you do, to answer your question though, you do have within that 24-hour window. Now, again, that's why that 24-hour window is really, really important to go and capture that thing. And then you want to go back or then you want to take the next step and upload that video to YouTube and repurpose it for Pinterest. And I mean, you could take a little excerpt. Yeah, you can take a little excerpt out of that video, your best 30 seconds, you know, use that as a Twitter video, as an Instagram video. I would also upload that entire file to Facebook, and that's part of our system. So it's not just one thing. It's just like we said, as far as the recording, you want to record your podcast, you want to record your live stream, you want to record your radio show all at the same time.
Yep, leveraging and repurposing. Got a question for you that Tom has put in Tom Markham Photo. Ryan, so you showed us the mic the other night. What was the motto again? So show us this wonderful mic.
So this one I'm actually using the Audio Technica one right now, but this is the USB this is the USB mic that I got from Rode, and they've done a good job. I mean, it's a great mic, and I believe it's right around the $200 mark. It's the NT USB. I'm using the Audio Technica. I sound pretty good right now, I think. I mean, basically, this is my quick little, fix right now. I'm not in my full studio, but I wanted to at least have somewhat decent audio. And with the USB mics, you can do that, which is kind of cool. So, yeah.
Can you talk about any changes that you feel maybe? I know a lot of things are going to be announced next month, within about 3 or 4 weeks at the summit. But can you talk about some of the things that you kind of feel they may be moving to as far as changes that might even make Periscope better, or is that like closed mouth right now?
Oh, no. I think, well, first of all, they are going to, my understanding is that they're going to make it so that you can actually, so those hearts in the comments are going to be able to be viewed in landscape mode, which I think is going to be great.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I think eventually they're going to have some way to have because look, I mean, everybody from the beginning. I mean, look, and we talk about it like it was ancient times. It was only 3 or 4 months ago, but basically 3 or 4 months ago, the reason why I was doing my crazy, interviews with people over a Google Hangout on my monitor, and then me, here, talking to the person, was because we didn't have a Blab. So so I think Twitter and Periscope, because as you know, Twitter owns Periscope. They're paying attention to the fact that people want to be able to interview other people. They want to be able to have that side by side, and that's coming. I think that's something that they've got to pay attention to. I know Meerkat's got the Cameo feature, so it's just a matter of time that is going to and eventually. They're going to have something like Blab has done. This is what's great about Blab is they've listened to us. Like Sean's in here all the time. Farquan, and they're listening to us and they're giving us all the things that we want. Like a profile page. I mean, Mark Shaw's been talking about this for so long, having that one profile page that we could have as a scoper that would talk about, and have all of our, just like Blab has done, like all of our past shows, all of our upcoming shows, so that we can schedule things, I mean, come on, Periscope, but that's coming. I think that's going to be happening.
That's cool. Yeah, well, absolutely. I'm sure they're watching and they're saying, okay, we got to beef this up for sure. Hopefully they'll have it to where we don't have to flip the screen. That's what I'm hoping. I'm always trying to find that perfect thing to go behind there. So that's something. Well, you know what? I just want to remind everyone that you're tuned into Careers from the Kitchen Table, the show that teaches you how to cook without the cooking, giving you some good old home recipes for your business success. Oh, yeah. And we did not fail you. No, because they know him as Periscope Ryan. That's what I know and love him for. But his name is Ryan Steinelson. See, I have to even practice last name because I know him Periscope Ryan. He's the cool guy that I learned about the scope sack from. Is that yours? Did you design the scope sack? Are you the creator of that?
Thank you for asking. So basically, and I always have my scope sack right here on my tripod. Here's my tripod that I use for my scopes. I've got the shoulder pod here to put my phone in, and basically what I did, just to give you a little bit of background, I've been creating video for online for years now, and a la like James Wedmore and some other guys, this was like 5 years ago. I was figuring out a way to get to basically create really quick and easy and decent videos for my clients using my phone. So, I went out there 5 years ago, I created a video, and now it's got like 30,000 views on it of basically me using then it was like a iPhone 4 or something like that, or 3. And I found there was very few things available out there, but I found a tripod, I found the mic, and that's kind of some of the stuff that I knew. And so I introduced people to the same concept of using these same tools for live stream, because these are the tools: the microphone that you can use with an iPhone, the Olo clip that you can use with an iPhone, so you get better viewing capability, all that stuff. I was like, look, we're using live streaming. This is a broadcast in your back pocket type capability with a smartphone. We got to make it so that all your gadgets that you need to make that scope better fit in a sack. And one night I was doing a Periscope, and Ryan Bell jumped on, and he's Mr. He's Mr. Brand. So he's like, I got it. Well, it's a scope sack, and so that's how it started, and that's basically the history of it, and it's stuck. And so then I went on and I created my landing page at periscoperyan.com, and I gave people that as my lead magnet. So, and I've had over 750 people that have gone to periscoperyan.com, and they've registered to get all the links, all the register. That is awesome. I love your site and I love your videos. You are good at this video thing for sure. So I know, one of the things you're big on is people, again, leveraging from this whole thing. So talk about how important it is to have that landing page that I'm still working on, but go ahead, talk about it. And actually some people were on here. Tom, yeah, man. I mean, it's really cool. Like, these guys have been hanging with me, and I talked about it like it's a long time ago. It was only 4 or 5 months ago, but in live stream time, that's ancient. That's a long time ago. And these guys have been with me ever since. And that's the cool thing is that these connections, like, I have met more people offline now through Periscope than any other social media platform that I've ever been involved in, like Instagram or anything like that. It's like, for some reason, those connections happen much faster than any other way. And what the question that you had was specifically pertained to
about the landing page. That I know you talk about how important it is, so they can leverage the most from it.
So the landing page is so critical, because ultimately, and this is what I was talking about in the beginning of Periscope I think I put the cart before the horse, because I was talking about things like lead magnets and stuff like that. And people were just like still trying to figure out, they were all watching Alex Pettit with his 5 tips, for beginners, and Alex Kahn, who's going to be coming on in a little bit here. And so it's critical if you really want to create a connection with the people that you're creating videos for on Periscope. The best way to do it is to have a landing page, and if you can incorporate that with a text messaging opt-in, then even better. And that's what I've worked with Kevin Madison on, because he's improved his 98 Connect a little bit to make it so that it works like that. And that's how it works, because ultimately you need to have a piece of you need to have your own property. You need to have a periscoperyan.com type domain that's custom to you, that people can go to, where they can see they can see a video of you. By the way, that video on Periscope Ryan was all shot using Periscope. It's really, so I was actually, I did the video and I'm like, okay, what'd you guys think? And I got like immediate feedback, and everybody was like, yeah, that was good, So I think I was the first person to ever do a landing page video shot live on live stream and get live feedback. It was really fun. So anyway, so having that landing page is critical, because what happens is, and if you haven't gone there, you can test it out. You can text your name and email to and the word Periscope to 58885 in order to see how the system works. So that's something I've been talking about for a long time. And again, if people can connect with me two ways. They can go to periscoperyan.com, put their name and email in there, or they can text the word Periscope to 58885. And that is so important to have, because then what it does is it gives you a way to be able to connect with people and be able to talk with them off of Blab or outside of Blab or outside of Periscope, etc.
Keep that connection going.
Yeah.
Then that's what's great. Like you said, it's one of the biggest social networking that you met. You met a lot of friends and everything with it. Let's talk real quickly. First of all, Khalik, you had a question, right? Can you hear us? Nope, still can't hear you.
Oh, man.
This is driving me crazy, because he's a Grammy Award winning mixing engineer. And I know he's like, it's probably something small. Let me go back to his question, see if I can find it. But what I'm looking for is question. Let's talk about the difference between Periscope and Blab. And I'm just curious, because I find I use them for different reasons. What about you?
You use Blab and Periscope for absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's a great question. And we were talking about this last night. And for all you guys that are on here, it's really, really interesting, because I look at, first of all, we've already talked about the fact that Blab is different. Blab is one to many, and it's also one to many in terms of being able to see people. And that's the difference. You can have as many people in this, you can have 4 people in the room, and you can bring people in and out at will. And that's what's so powerful. Live streaming, it's one to many, and the only way of engaging with you as the moderator, or like you right now, is for somebody to comment, and all you can see is just the comments. So I use live streaming, specifically Periscope. I'm using that as my way to connect with people and just keep an ongoing conversation going whenever I have an announcement to make, or I do my trainings, etc. The way that I get people to move along the continuum of connecting with me is I start with my live streams, Meerkat, Periscope, whatever your choice, and then I get them over into a Blab so that I can see them, I can talk to them. And then what's powerful about Blab is that people that have already experienced my product, I bring them in for testimonials, and that way it gets the social proof going. And then what we've done is we've added another layer on, is we'll do a training for the people that have already taken advantage of one of our products, and we'll do the training immediately after. So so then you can, and the nice thing about the training is that using another tool that we use, which is like a webinar type tool, is that it's a private room. It's only for people that have been invited. You got to have a special link, the whole 9 yards. So that's how we've been doing it. It's the live streaming with Periscope, Meerkat, etc. Then we go over to a Blab, and that's if I'm offering a tripwire, or I'm offering like some sort of an offer, I'll offer it on Blab, because then I can bring in the testimonials and other people that are, that have questions or comments, and they can give their feedback on how they've used the product, for example. Does that make sense?
It definitely makes sense. And that's what I found. And Khalid, you want to do a test? I don't know. Still can't hear you. Nope. But I'm going to ask you a question real quick. What he wanted to know about the split screen. So let me get that question back up here. Let's see. Khalid wanted to know the split screen Periscope that Alex Pettit does. Does he see that's going to be part of the new update?
I think it is, and eventually, I like the split screen. That's something that he's doing on his own.
Okay.
That's something. My understanding, from what I understand, it's not something that Periscope is letting him do. I think that is something that is going to be available at some point. I don't know. There's another question here about how many blabbers need to be on the platform.
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to ask. And then there's one about how to use it with webinars. So if you can answer those back to back, that'd be great.
Yeah. So how many blabbers need to be on the platform before they can start monetizing? I see that many Achilles heel if they don't figure it out. Well, I'm not. See, here's the thing, and Vincenzo talked about this last night on our Blab. It's not about look. Blab is going to monetize the way that they're going to monetize. Somehow they're going to put advertising in here or something, and that's the way. But I use this. The way I use this is I use Blab is as a platform. It's a platform for me to be able to to get my message out there. And let's see, so there's not a matter of
labs.
Yeah, there's not a matter of a certain number of people that have to be here before they start. I mean, they're gonna start charging when they start charging, or when they start doing advertising. There was another question about what was the other?
Webinars, labs, and webinars. Yeah.
See, really, either you can look at in a little bit of a way. You can see that live streaming and Blab are really like impromptu webinars. I mean, they really are, because what are you doing? You're presenting one to many, and you're also seeing comments, which is very similar to a webinar, and you've got total control of who comes in, who goes out as the moderator, and you have the ability to record. And actually, Sean has said the reason why he came up with Blab was because all the webinar technologies out there were just really not that great. And I kind of agree with them, because what this does is it socializes the webinar. And so the way that I could see myself, and we're testing this out, the way that I could see bringing somebody into a webinar is possibly directly from a Periscope. And I've seen people do launches on Periscope just like they would do on a webinar. But you could bring somebody potentially from a scope to a webinar, or a scope to or a Blab to a webinar, or you can do a scope to a Blab to a webinar. Now, the challenge that you have is that if you just like in any type of a funnel, the more steps you have, the more the more likelihood you have that somebody's going to fall off. Somebody's not going to take the offer, or not going to opt in. And so I'd be careful with the 3-step process. That's the reason why I like going from a Periscope, pre-promoting the Blab, and then using the Blab as my webinar, basically. I mean, the Blab is the webinar, and I'm driving people to the Blab, getting them on there, and then if we have a training, then I do the training afterwards, just because it's like we're there already. We might as well just do the training afterwards. And what I found is that some people that actually have not purchased will want to actually go to the
next step. It's almost like giving them the first part of it free.
Yeah.
Right. And then they come to get the rest. Because you kind of did that the other day when you and Kevin, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because you took them over to Zoom or something.
Yeah, we took them over to the webinar, and that was really cool, because then they understand that, okay, well, hey, I'm not part of it. I want to see under the hood, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with they see the training, because then they're just going to they're going to see it. They're going to see us set up a text messaging system, for example, for somebody in like 10 minutes, and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, okay.
I want that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I want that.
like you know.
Absolutely. That's what I said when I seen it. I text you. I said, I want that.
Right. So you're a great example. So the other day, were you on my Periscope and then you went to the Blab and then you went to
and we were leaving in and out. I was catching parts on the phone, parts here. Yeah.
So you're a great example, because last night, like Vincenzo was saying that some people wouldn't stay all the way. And I'm like, well, you might be right, but you know what? I mean, we're recording all 3 phases. You know, the recording of the webinar is recorded. So that's going into the membership site for people to learn how to use the system. The Blab is recorded. That goes on forever. And then you've got the Periscope, and we repurpose that, as I told you earlier. So you've got, you know, I think it works. Obviously, like you saw the value by going from one, you know,
Yes.
from the Periscope to the Blab to the, you know, to the webinar. And that's, so there's the answer that I give. And, you know, Vincenzo was kind of giving me pushback on it last night, and we might change it over time. I just know that, like, it makes sense for me because we got to do a training anyway, and we're already in front of our computer. So why not do it right after we do the Blab anyway? And
Perfect.
you know,
I think that's good because you already have a captured audience.
right.
You know, you already have a captured audience, you know, so, you know, I've got your interview, I've got the beautiful Africa Miranda coming up next, and then I have Alex Khan, and I was like, okay, do I want to do 3 separate links? Because if I'm going to have Ryan there, and they're flowing like this, just do one, because we already got a captured audience instead of starting all over again, you know. So I love that you're able to do this. I mean, what we have up to 5 hours or something in the room to work it to your best advantage. So it's a lot that can be done with it. If anyone wants to jump in, I think Khalik is still having technical issues. He's been working so hard with me all day because I had to do a Skype interview with Bob Berg. You know Bob Berg?
Yeah.
Berg? Yeah, I did a Skype interview right before you, and Alvita King, I was supposed to do her today, but something happened, so we got to reschedule her. That's Martin Luther King's niece, of course, and so it's been like back-to-back interviews, and he's always helping me, and now I know he's having fits. He can't get on because he really wanted to talk to you because he's a tech guy.
Yeah.
So he wanted to have a conversation with you for sure.
That's
okay.
awesome.
Hi there, Eric.
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing good. We're going to, give me 1 second, Eric. We're going to go ahead and try to get a couple people on. Okay. Khalik's changing computers. So Khalik, I'm going to leave it open for you, but we're going to go ahead and get a couple people to ask questions to Ryan and your favorite question to him. And I'm going to try to get as many people. So if we can stick it to maybe 1 or 2, that'd be great, because we got the beautiful Africa Miranda coming up next. And I'm excited about her too. Been jumping up in my seat about her too. But I'm Raven, the talk show maven, known by many as queen of internet radio and interview conversion. That's because I show you how to get the ka-ching, ka-ching, the ka-ching, ching, ching. Oh yeah, when you're doing these icon interviews for sure. Hi, Eric.
Hey, good evening, afternoon. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Your question for Ryan.
Well, it's more of a statement than anything else.
Okay.
I've been watching Ryan for a while and learning his tricks, tips, and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I Periscope for my business as a brand, and because of a Periscope 5 days ago that was catched to the whole deal, I had it mic'd up. Everything was really primo, and I landed a huge client off a replay. So hey, to do it once, do it right. You know, get your stuff set up, get the mic going, have your scene set up, and you know, I'm in the digital signage business, and I did my scope in front of one of our digital signboards at a casino, and man, I got a call from this airline, and they want to advertise with us and do all this kind of stuff, and it's a huge deal.
Dude, okay, wait. I want to wait. Hold on, Eric. I want to. You're not going anywhere. You ain't going nowhere. I want to hear. Okay, so that is so cool because seriously, like, so just specifically, what I heard you say is that you leveraged like one of the strategies that I was telling you about.
Right.
I don't know what it was. What did you know? I
don't remember. I mean, it's using the scope stack. It's using the mic, getting everything set up correctly, good lighting, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, and then so you did a scope of one of your, you know, what you do, and you basically, so the quality was good because you were able to show the entire sign because you got a big sign there, so you gotta use like a wide angle lens to capture it. Okay, and then you had good audio because you used like the Rode Smart Lob Plus or something like that.
Exactly.
And so what you did is did you upload? Now, did somebody watch that video within 24 hours, or did you repurpose it, upload it to YouTube? What happened?
No, actually, I used Catch.
Okay.
And they found it through 3 hashtags that I used in Twitter.
Well, that's one of my tips. That's one of the okay, good.
And you know, it was like 5 days ago I did this. I just discounted it. I move on, and this marketing director calls me and says, "Hey, I saw your video on Twitter, which was Periscope, and let's talk." And so,
wow. So because you preserved it on Catch, they saw that video on Twitter, and that's how you got awesome. That's really cool. That's
$multi-thousand a month for us.
Dude, that's cool. That's really cool. And you know what? If you would, that would be really cool, because one of the things that we're always trying to do, my company is, I did my scope this morning on reviews. If you could just give a little review for that, what benefit you got. This is a tip that I would give to all businesses as well. This like I always say, like model what I'm doing. I'm going to ask Eric if you could just take a second, since you got that benefit, if you could go to my company website, Accelerate Marketing, and type in Accelerate Marketing San Diego reviews. You can actually review our business right there and just talk about the tips that you got benefits from. That would be huge. Just put a review there. That'd be awesome. That'd be huge. So
marketing.com.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Don't you just love those case studies and stuff? Absolutely. That's amazing. I can hear you, colleague. Yay. Eric, was there anything else you want to say before we go to colleague?
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for attending, and don't go nowhere.
All right.
Africa Miranda coming up next.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Eric. That is really cool.
Oh, shoot. Khalik was in and I dropped my baby. Come on
Don't
back.
drop your baby.
Okay. There he is.
What do I do?
There he is. And he's got good audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
My other computer, I had so many things going. It's just crazy. Okay. I wanted to ask a quick question, Ryan. And let me turn this down so I don't have feedback. One thing that I wanted to know, right now I'm trying to integrate with us so that she can do things like, we can both do things like integrate Skype along with Blab, et cetera, et cetera. And I was trying last night, like I have a Mac and I have Minicam on the Macs. We have Webcam Max and Cam Twist and all the different ones.
Yep.
But when I'm finding the computers are getting bogged down when I'm trying to get Skype and Blab and all the things integrated. What's the best way you recommend for people to be able to do that, to get an integration where if I wanted to have Blab and Skype side by side, the host and the Skype person side by side in this platform, what's the best way to go about doing it? Using multiple computers, what computers on what apps on which computers, as far as taxing it.
Yeah, so you want to be able to do a Skype side by side.
Correct.
Okay. Well, okay. So there is a plugin for Skype that will allow you to do a side by side. Now, my question to you though would be, why do you want to use Skype when you've got this?
No, I don't want to use Skype side by side. I mean, I have on the Mac, for example, I have a camera recorder that will do side by side inside of Skype, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about taking the Skype video feed of just whoever the guest is and piping it into Blab side by side. Now I'm using Minicam right now on a Mac, or I'm using Webcam Max on the PC.
Yes.
I tried Minicam on the PC, but for some reason it wasn't working right. So I want to use that so that in Blab, we have the Blab host already there. And then for the second seat, we come in with a different computer, different Twitter account and everything else. We sign in there, but we make the camera Webcam Max or Minicam or whatever and come in on the computer. I was able to do that, but it bogged down things. So you might want
to try Cam Twist. I'd have to see more of that. Yeah, Cam Twist. You tried it?
Yeah, we had that.
I don't know. I mean, we can talk more after about that. That's a pretty detailed, question that we'd have to look at. But yeah, I mean, I think, and by the way, Eric, if Eric's still on, Eric, definitely DM me, direct message me, because I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about what happened there. So DM me on Twitter, and I know Africa's coming on here in a few minutes. She's got in a couple of minutes here. I just this is awesome. If anybody, I don't know if we've got time for any more questions, I'd be more than happy.
Lucia, real quick. Yes, we can. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hi.
Hi. I'm here just to say hi to Ryan because I watched like 100,000 scopes from Ryan, and he never see me. So
awesome.
That's why I'm here.
It's awesome. It's awesome to see you on my scopes. It's awesome to meet you, and that's what's so cool. This is the power of Blab, is the ability to be able to, because Lucia and I, we really have not had, and it's pronounced Lucia, correct?
Lucia.
Lucia. In Portuguese is Lucia, but Lucia it's okay.
So
Minu is okay. Whatever.
She's been on my. What's that?
I live in Brazil, by the way.
What's that?
You don't know.
You're what?
Ryan knows.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
I live in Brazil.
Okay.
So
awesome.
Lucia is she, and this is what's so powerful, is to be able to connect with people and be able to see them in Blab and off of the live stream. It's really cool. So awesome to be able to see you again, Lucia, and I'm looking forward to seeing all my scopes again soon, and I want to see some from you too. That'd be cool.
I've never scoped. I don't have the courage. I don't know if my English is good enough, but I've been on Blab, so
well, this is fun. I'm glad I'm able to see it, and you can do it. I know you can. You can do the scopes. Okay,
yeah,
good.
I'm going to try sometime. Okay, thank you for having me. Bye, Ryan.
Bye-bye. Well, we're going to get ready for the beautiful Africa Miranda coming up, but I do want to say we got one question here. Oh, someone wanted you to explain the catch. What does catch mean?
So catch, and I've actually interviewed the owner or the CEO of the company, and it's really, really cool. It's an automated system that takes the videos that you record on Periscope, and it basically pulls them into their own site, and it's called Catch with a K. So it's like catch with a kite, like with a K with a kite.com, and basically what it does is it allows you to have that video on there recorded forever. The only thing is that the comments are on the side of the video, and it's not the same as the comments showing up in Periscope. So it's definitely a way, it's an inexpensive, free way for you to preserve all your videos forever. It's really cool.
Getting a little feedback. I don't know if that's coming from you, Africa, so I don't know if he got it. But yeah, I love Catch. I've got everything I've done on there. I'm getting ready to downs, but it's nice that they do pick it up. That's an extra bonus for sure. I was glad to hear about that.
Yep.
I just want to say, heart to heart, Ryan, thank you so much for being here. So thankful for you being here, Ryan. It's been a great interview. And is there any final comments you want to say to anyone regarding just jumping in there, getting past their head stuff and just doing Periscope? Because that's the first challenge I think people face.
That's a really good question. And I think, and I've talked about this before, and there's a couple things. Number one, what I would do is just look at that camera and think of it as your best friend being on the other side of it. Just like when you're looking into that camera right there, just think of an image, or you can even put an image of your best friend right there, so that you can remind yourself that that's really, it's a friend. It's not like, it should be a fun thing. And I want mine always to feel like I'm talking to just one person, to a friend, and that's the kind of atmosphere I want to create. Now, the other thing, a real quick hack on that, is that you can actually do a Periscope and not go live with it, you can make it private and just send it to one person as a practice, just to get the wheels rolling. So that's what I would recommend, is that you actually do a private Periscope, send it to one person, and then maybe you send it to 2 people, and then maybe you send it to 3, and you work your way up until it's just public. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. I think that is a really good idea for people to do. And I know when I first started out, you know, kind of tested it with Khalik and I, just to make sure the volume and the sound and everything sounded great. And one of the things that I definitely had to do was get out of my head and just be me, be authentic. And I'm excited about speaking with Africa, because she's just like you. She's very authentic. I remember when Khalik, it was so funny. It made me mad at the time, but it was so funny, Ryan. I was in here just doing my thing. I thought I was rocking it, to be honest. Khalik busted through the door and he said, Raven, why are you sounding like a salesperson? Salesman, because I was just energy. And he's like, no, just be you. Because I was so used to being behind mic, and it came great because they can't see you. You know, they can hear you, so you got to put in that extra energy. But on Blab and on Periscope, you can just relax and be free to be you, right?
Yes, totally. And it's about transparency, like being honest and talk and be, you know, and be off the cuff. Like, that's me. Like, you know, my buddy David Sprague the other day was like, man, my wife was like, are you watching Ryan again? And she's like, yeah, because, you know, you never know what he's going to do. You know, it's like, you know, and that's part of, I think, my thing is that it's like, you know, you never know what, you know, what I guess people say, like, they never know what I'm going to do. I mean, and sometimes that can be good. Sometimes that can be bad, but you know what? That's me, you know? And that's you know, some people like it and some people don't, and that's okay, you know?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for saying yes. I appreciate you. And for being here. We'll have to do it again, and I can't wait, you know, to be on yours. So I'm excited about sharing with your listeners all about interviewing too. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you. And Africa, hello. Hey.
Say hi to Africa. You can talk to her
and I'll let you guys go. I'm gonna listen. And what's really cool is that this is a great idea. I love this, Raven, where you're going one to the other. So I'll be listening in the background, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, thank you. Bye, Ryan. Hey, Periscopers, that was none other than Ryan Steinolson. I call him Periscope Ryan, but guess what? I'm not ignoring you, so I'm going to face the camera again, because now we're getting excited for Africa Miranda. So stay tuned. Hey, Khalik, I'm going to exit you out for a moment, okay? Just for a quick moment. Okay, and lock the door, because I want some one-on-one with Miss Africa. Let me just unmute you. Let's see. Hello. Hi there. How are you? Hello, how are you?
Okay, now it's better. Hello? It's weird. So now that I've come on, I can't hear you as well as when I was
I hear you great. So I hear you absolutely great. You're sounding wonderful. Now let me ask you so is your volumes up okay and everything, huh?
Volume is up all the way. It was when I was just watching, just listening to you guys, it was louder. And then once I immediately, when I joined the Blab,
you want to exit out and try again? I know sometimes that's what we have to do too. Okay, good. Meanwhile, I can get up what I wanted. Okay, everyone, we're going to get ready for Africa Miranda to come on. And Africa, Khalik said, try refreshing. And I'm going to take a sip of water and unlock it so she can get in here real quick. Woo, these lights are hot, sizzling hot.
Hello?
Is that any better?
I can hear you. It's just literally the moment that I close out, it's like your volume raises. I can still hear you, so we can, definitely still do it, but it's strange. It's the first time this has ever happened.
Oh, no, not on me.
That's okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to lock the seats, everyone, and we're going to stay tuned to part 2 of careers from the kitchen table. And like I said, this is the show that teaches you how to cook without the cooking with good old home recipes for your business success. Hey, I'm Raven, the talk show maven, known by many as the queen of internet radio and interview conversion. That's how, because I show you how to get out there, get the icons in your niche, the heroes, the sheroes that you love and adore, and get them to say yes to you interviewing them, and then show you how to turn that into some amazing products. We show you how to rock your interview talk all the way to the bank. Ka-ching, 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 ching, ching. Absolutely. I'm excited because she's here. Yes, she is. Oh, I'm so excited to bring her on. She's known as a triple threat.
Thank you.
Because she sings, she acts, she models, but she also dances. So isn't that a little bit more? That's a triple threat.
I'm a singer that moves well. I don't say I'm a dancer. I let the dance.
Okay, there you go.
Give you a little 5, 6, 7, 8. That's about it.
There you go. She's a dynamic performer. And you know what I love about this lady? She is so authentic. Now, the first scope that I caught her on, she was in the park with her beautiful sister that looks a lot like her. And she was sharing her sister, and they were just talking, and she was so real. And then I'd seen a scope where she was doing her rap, her head wrap. And then she also talks about tips for fears. And then she have days that she does it for the single people. She's just so cool. So, you know what? If you're standing, sit down. And if you're sitting, stand up, because the lady is here.
I'm here.
Hey, Africa, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing? Thank you so much for having me, Raven, and everybody here. Thank you, everybody in the room.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello. And you guys understand the format. I'm going to go ahead and lock the doors, but we're not locking you out. We want to say hi. Hi, Alex Khan coming up.
Alan, Greenstead W. Hey, Alan. I'm like, so some of my folks are here. I'm happy to see you guys.
Absolutely. So I'm going to interview her, talk to her. This is for me. This interview is for me, purely for me. But you guys can get the insider secrets too, because I fell in love with her in the new Atlanta. You know I did. I fell in love with you in there because, again, you were so real. You were bringing it raw, the real raw you. And how could we help? We couldn't help but adore you in there. So let's talk about a little bit of your story, just a tad bit of, I think I read or listened to a video where you started, performing or at least dancing at the age of 2 or 3 or somewhere in there?
Well, I started actually playing violin when I was, I guess, like 3, and then from 3 or 4, and I started with violin first, and then from violin, I was in ballet as well growing up, taught myself piano, picked up piano, and was always involved in the arts, from musical theater and drama and all of those things, but I didn't really take it seriously as something that I could probably do as a career until after college, because in college I was an English major. I thought I was going to law school, and I was still involved in some creative things, but I didn't really believe that growing up in Alabama that I would be able to kind of take that step. But, deep down inside, it was always there. So when I got the opportunity after college to move to New York, and it's funny, I talked about this last night on my scope about times in my life where being open to change, like changed my life and changed my career. And the first big change for me was leaving like the city and family and life that I had known my entire life, and, moving to New York. So that was the first change for me. And that's kind of what has, really affected like the trajectory of my life and my career.
Well, you have a rocking career. I mean, some people are just born to do what they do. I know a lot of people say I was definitely born I have the gift of gab. Ask Cully, she'll tell you. So some people are just born into it, a lot of people compare you to Diana Ross, I think, with the hair. But then, when I watched you sing this song, oh my God, you sang a song by Billie Holiday. And I love Billie Holiday. I think, was it The Man I Love or something like that? And I said, this girl has such a beautiful voice. You actually have that kind of classic style about you. Did you watch the whole Grown Up or something?
Well, it's funny. It wasn't so much that I listened to it a lot. I always loved like glamorous women. Like I love Diana Ross. Like I love Dolly Parton. I love Cher, Debbie Harry. Like I love those like really iconic women that have really strong identities in fashion and music and art, and you know them from their hair to their clothing to their makeup. So that just always spoke to me at a very young age. So I definitely, model myself after them in terms of like branding. Like when people know me and they know Africa, you're getting the hair and a lip and, this whole experience. So I definitely was heavily influenced by those women.
I could tell.
My career.
I could tell right away.
Definitely.
I was hoping to show you the picture, but I can't find it. I'll have to send it to you. I used to, believe it or not, back in the day, don't laugh, people, I used to do Diana Ross lip sync.
I believe it. I don't like that. Does not seem like a far stretch to me. Excuse me. You're giving us glamour here on the Blab, so I believe it.
Yeah, so I'm a huge Diana Ross fan, but going back to you and your particular style. Now, there's a lot of reality TV shows on, and then we're going to talk about scope and how you're using this as an entertainer. But there's a lot of reality TV shows on. When you were casted for this program, I understood it was from a friend that didn't want to do it, right? So I did my research. Yes. Hey, for sure. But
I see.
One of the things I noticed is it seemed like you came in with the mindset that you were going to totally be free to be you, and you were going to bring something that you felt was missing from a reality TV. Is that true, or were you in that mindset at the time?
No, that's absolutely true. No, it absolutely is true. When I looked at, going on the show, I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I've got to show my real life thing that I can kind of keep up with.
I'm losing you a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
Social media. You're going to slip. Somebody's going to catch you, and something in the cracks is going to slip through. And I've just been, my thing is always about being authentic and showing my real life and really what's going on with me. And also in deciding to be on the show, looking at the types of Black women that I was seeing on screen and not really seeing anybody that, while I found them entertaining, there was nobody on really any show that I felt like I could really as an individual relate to. So I wanted to kind of have that as well. So that was my reason for joining.
Yeah, we did. I kind of heard a little bit of that. You want to exit out and try one more time to come back in, Africa?
Well, no, let's see. You guys missing me because I can't see you. Okay. Oh, they said we lost it. Oh, they lost it.
I'll exit
out. I'll come back. Oh, geez.
Okay, I'll exit
and if not, I'll.
Okay. All right, so we're going to wait for Africa to come back. Isn't she amazing? I just love her authenticity. And if you're just joining us, Periscopers, hi. Hello to Periscopers and hello to all of you. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Raven, the talk show maven. I'm the founder of Amazing Women of Power. We got Alex Khan coming up next, so stay tuned. This is my Icon interview showcase. And so we're excited to have each and every one of you here. And here she is again. Hey, and we can see her.
I'm back.
Absolutely. So you kind of faded out on that. So can you kind of do the clip note version of the answer on that? Because it was really good.
I was saying that, authenticity is everything. I'm going to just be myself because that's the cheapest and easy for me to do is to be me. And I can keep up with that.
Yeah.
And then even the same thing about deciding to even be on the show was that in watching reality TV prior to being on it, there were a lot of shows that I just enjoyed as entertainment, but I didn't see a woman that I could really relate to. So I was just like, okay, there's got to be somebody for girls like me who are fun and smart and, kind of quirky and just are a little different from the norm of Black women that they were just constantly showing us. Like that was the only thing that we are.
Yeah, well, you do have a certain wit about you. In fact, we lost you again on video. So if you want to try on your phone again.
Let me grab my phone. Okay. Hold on, guys.
Okay. So we're waiting here and we are talking to none other than Africa Miranda. They call her a triple threat because she sings and she acts and oh my God, the girl is she models, of course, a beautiful model. And like she says she moves really good as well. So a dancer, she's a great mover when she sings. Show you right, show you right. Thank you for the mention, Charlene. Welcome everyone. All of you that have come, I'm just so appreciative. Alex Khan is coming up next. Thank you for the mention, Alex. And we just finished a great interview with Ryan Steinelson. Said it right. Yes, I did. I know him as Periscope Ryan. And we're talking about, basically how to use this amazing platform, Periscope and Blab, but mainly Periscope today. And I did accept you. So we're just waiting for you to come in. Okay. It's on pause, so we'll see if she's coming in. But this is really a game changer. And I'm going to exit you out one more time, Africa, and we'll try it one more time. Here we go. All of our businesses. So we want to pass on the good word that you should be using this. I've invited a lot of my radio hosts here. I'm going to be training my radio hosts for Amazing Women of Power, how to use this to, move their show forward, and how to be there with in a room like this with their listeners and really getting to know them and them getting to know them. It says waiting for host. Okay, let's try it again. Accept. I accepted it. And it says exiting caller. On my end, Africa, it says accepting caller. So we're waiting for Africa to come back. Khalik, if you can come here real quick, and just maybe to see if it's on my end. I don't think so. Okay. Good. Okay, sorry for that. This is one thing. It is technology, so you can't panic. You got to stay in there, stay in the flow, stay excited, and just moving on with it. Yeah, don't be afraid of it, because whatever happens is going to happen. But we're still going to wait for a great show. Huh? Okay, we got Khalik.
And maybe that'll stabilize it. It'll stay
open as long as
one of us are in.
Okay, if I refresh the browser, I don't know if that'll kick this session out.
What's going to happen is when you refresh it, it's going to kick you out, but I'll be in here, so it's going to stay open as long as one person's still in it.
Okay, so I'm going to refresh. We apologize for the inconvenience. I'm accepting.
Then just join after you refresh. Join back in.
Okay, she keeps trying. Hold on. I will refresh and try computer again. Okay, Africa, I'm going to refresh, and you refresh too. Khalik, you stay in. Here we go. Hopefully this works. I'll be back. Okay.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad you're enjoying. I hope you're getting a lot of great information. Ryan was great, wasn't he? He was just amazing. A wealth of information. He's been doing it a long time, and I'm going to be picking his brain in the future. So to bring him, to ask him how musicians can utilize some of these new things that are coming on. This is a game changer for everybody. But Raven has such a great lineup coming, not just today, but also all during this week. She has some powerhouse people coming on. So you want to subscribe to these, subscribe to the things that she has set up. And you're going to want to see all the different angles. It's about the angles that are coming in. I think Africa, we got you back, it looks like. And when Raven gets back in, you guys can continue. But great stuff. Here we go. We got our host back and everything. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I'm going to step out now and let y'all get back to it, okay?
Okay, thanks, baby.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Hey, we're back. See, if you just don't panic, everything smooths out. Thank you, Kaliki, baby. As you see, he makes me blush.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So anyway, the whole thing that I'm excited about you as I watch you on this is you're really using this platform. I feel like not so much, I'm sure, growing your entertainment business is one thing, but when I watch you, I feel like it's more about you connecting with your fans on this. You see this as a way to speak to them directly.
It is.
Okay.
It is. I talk to my fellow creatives that are on here, and I tell them that, this is really an opportunity for you as a talent to say thank you and to give value back to the people that really fund your life and your career. I have a career because of people that support me and watch the things that I do and follow them. So to be on here and just to kind of be like, hey, it has to be more than that. So it's a way for me to, one, connect with people, and two, give them some value. There's a lot of people that watch me that, grew up like I did in a smaller town and want to move to a bigger city and have this career and maybe don't know where to start, or they've had some success in the business and they're like, okay, what else do I need to do to really make that change to get to the next level? So I'm like, why don't I tell people what's worked for me and, the pitfalls and some of the things that have happened to me. and the help that other people have given me that maybe I can now pay it forward and give to them. So it's like a mix of a few things. I view it as a talk show, absolutely, because that's one of my goals. But then it's also a way to kind of enrich and help people. Like my motto at this stage of my life really is educate, inspire, and grow. And if it doesn't fall on those three things, then there's really no place for it. Like the fun is understood because we definitely have fun. But, it's a space where we should be educating each other. We should be inspiring each other, and we should be helping each other grow, because I treat myself, in my life as a business. Like I tell my talents, like we're entrepreneurs. We don't have to design a product. We don't have to go find some business to open and sell. Like we are the business. We already have the product. We're ahead of the game in that aspect. We lag behind because we don't treat our lives and our talent like a business. And my goal is to really get, my fellow talents to understand that and to use these platforms to their benefit.
Yeah. And, I forget what I was listening to. I did so much research on you, but I think I was watching this real cool video. By the way, I love your videos. And you talked about your friend saying fighting for last. And I wrote that down. I said, I've got to have her talk about that. That's so huge.
Yes. Fighting for last. It's something that I got from some of my guy friends, and they used to say it as a joke when they would watch like old people that we knew that were just doing all of this stuff and still ending up in last place. And it's this whole concept of, you're trying to do all of these things that really are amounting to nothing, and you're still not winning. Like one day you're selling this, one day you're over here being a massage therapist, the next day you have this product, the next day you act. Like it's like you're trying to do 20 things, but at the end of the day you're accomplishing nothing. And if you're a champion at one thing. Like Serena Williams is a champion tennis player. Now she may be doing some designing and some other things, but that's because she's established herself for years as the ultimate champion of this sport. Until you are a champion, stop trying to do all these other things. And so many people are creative, think they've got to sing and dance and act and make this and show you that. And it's just, people don't know what to follow. It's confusing. You can build no kind of base. And to be honest, this really speaks to not just if you're creative, but any type of business. The only store that I appreciate being a bit of a mess is Goodwill, because I know it's cheap and I'm going to go in there and rummage through the kind of halfway thrown away things, and it's fine. Any other place that I go to, whether it's Target, Walmart, or Neiman Marcus, there's order there, there's sections, there are departments. You're an individual. Figure out what you're selling and what your product is, aka your talent or whatever this thing is. Focus on that, because when you spread yourself too thin trying to be the master of everything, you are fighting for last. You're not going to win anything, and you're going to do all of this work to still end up in last place, while the rest of us will be winning and looking at you from the other side. And that's kind of my thing.
Absolutely. Another thing I heard you talk about, which ties into this, and I really resonated with it because I teach it with my clients, or getting an echo, and that is stay in your lane. Don't stay in your all lane. Over the place.
I can't tell people that enough. You have to stay in your lane. And what happens with these platforms, and I think what I love about live streaming, is that you get an immediate response of what people like and what they don't like, because they can say, hey, I'm into that, I'm not into that. You see it from which of your scopes or broadcasts are more popular, which aren't. And I tell people too, you have to think about what your audience wants, not so much what you feel like they should have. What are they responding to? Right. I love to sing, it's something that I love to do, but that's not what resonates with my audience in this way. What's resonating is this information that I'm giving, these tips, and the inspirational part of it. So that's what I give. Y'all aren't coming on my scopes to watch me sing all day every day. That's just a waste of everybody's time. It's cool if we do it here and there, but for anyone that's using these platforms, from a brand to an individual, whether you are in corporate America or a talent, you have to figure out what your audience wants, not necessarily what you are trying to push on them. Because what I don't like is that sometimes live streaming this, and even Periscope, is starting to feel like HSN or the home, or like QVC all day. I'm not coming on here to get the hard sell every time I jump on someone's scopes. And I think a lot of people are forgetting that you need to create an experience. Yes. People need to be invested in you and your story, and then as a byproduct of that, they'll be open to whatever it is that you're offering them. But you can't just jump on and in 3 days you're the expert of everything. It's too much. It's overwhelming, and it's not a really enjoyable thing to watch over and over. You'll burn out, and your audience will burn out.
Well, I think you brought it. You said the perfect thing to give them an experience.
Yeah,
and that's what you want to do. That's why it's so cool to show them behind the scenes. Sound man, I hear echo. I don't know what it's from, but hubby, help up in here. But basically, I know for a fact that when you start getting on these and they start even pushing hearts so much,
Oh God, I hate that.
It's like it takes forever, and then they get into the meat of it. And just when you get to the edge of your chair, you're excited. You want to hear that tip. Oh, we're gonna get heart stuff, and I'm like, I want to hear the tip. I only got so much time here.
And the thing with the heart stuff, I mean, it's cool. Honestly, I joined Periscope like 3.5 months ago. I didn't even know what the hearts meant or what they were for, so I never got super invested in it. I was like, okay, it's cool, but that's, I mean, for me, it's just. It's it's hearts on a screen. What I appreciate more that people are actually following me. That there are over 8,000 people on this brand new platform that have made the active choice. Because following someone is an active choice. That's saying I'm going to follow this person. They're going to get my notifications and they're going to come watch what I'm talking about. Let me see. Somebody saying the sound. I can.
You in Africa maybe both turn down to the bare minimum that you can hear, so the mic doesn't.
Let's see. Is this a little better? Because I'm having trouble hearing on my end. It's very low. I can hear, but if you guys are getting feedback from me, I can turn it down some. I'll just lean in so I can hear I can hear better.
Okay. Let me cut now this is my volume up. Can you hear me any better? Africa?
No, it sounds exactly the same. I don't think I have, guys. I'm like not even home. Let me see if I have my earbuds.
Okay. All right, everyone. If you're just tuning in, this is Raven, a talk show maven, and you're tuned into Careers from the Kitchen Table. We're an award-winning home business show. That's because we're known for bringing the best of the best of the best, just like Periscope Ryan. And that's Ryan Steinelson, as well as we got Alex Kahn coming up. We have the beautiful, talented triple threat, Africa Miranda here. We'll be doing Alveda King next week. We've done Russell Simmons, just you name them, they've been on our show. And we love it because they come and they share their secret sauce, the secret recipes for success. Let's see. Tony Brown says, I need to be using a headphone. Okay. Haven't used that yet. But thanks, Tony.
Well, I've got mine in. Is this better?
Let me see if that may help a little bit. Hold on. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about right now, Africa, if you don't mind, is sharing what you feel has been some of your secret sauce to success and take it to the beginner level, okay? Because a lot of people are going to come on here and at first they're going to be intimidated by the hearts and all that stuff, because I know I was. Okay.
Right. Well, the first thing I would tell people is like, stop worrying about the hearts. Like the hearts mean nothing. Like, stop worrying about that. That would be my very first thing. And I know that's hard to say. And yeah, I have over 1 million hearts and it's great and it is what it is. But stop worrying about the hearts, because I think if you get caught up in the hearts, then you're not being concerned about what this platform really is for, which is providing really great content. Exactly, Alan, content over hearts. And creating, that environment and building your community. Like the fact that I have like my family here were the Africans, and it's people from Norway to actually in Africa, and that's like our family here. And we've, I've built this community. That's been my focus. If you're creating great content and you're an enjoyable presence and you have a story that you're telling, you'll get hearts. Like the hearts will come. It's like anything in life. If you got to say, see me, see me, see me, there's something that's missing there. So I just say, let people enjoy what you're bringing and don't worry about the hearts. Like your focus should be on actually having something to talk about, like having a focus, figuring out what your lane is on Periscope. I did do one scope, and I don't do a lot of scopes where I talk about, how to Periscope, but I did one where I talked about what I kind of felt were like the 4 or 5 different types of Periscopers. Because what happens is that you do need to try to find your lane here so that you're not just all over the place. And, I feel like there's number 1 is like the educator expert lane, which is pretty self-explanatory. 2 is someone like me that's a personality. Maybe you're someone that's on TV or an entertainer, but you have some sort of following that people already have a sense of you. The 3rd would be the curator. And I'm a little bit of that too. You're the person that's like maybe someone like Euro Maestro. They're showing you great sites and, people that are sharing great scenery and events and like just kind of bringing really cool places and information. The 4th would be the life scoper. We know those people that scope anything and everything all day long. And there's a place for that. And then the 5th would be just the people that are a little lost. So if you're lost, I would say look at 1 through 4 and kind of see where you fall in and then figure out what's your message. If you're a chef, then why are you on here doing makeup scopes? It's some of the stuff is basic, but that's what, my girlfriend said, she's laughing, but that's what people do. It's like, there's people, I know that their skill set is one thing, but they're on here scoping about stuff. I'm like, well, that's not even what you really know about. So why not talk about what you know?
Stay in your lane, right? Stay in your lane. Absolutely.
Stay in your lane. And then it's, then it's easier for you. You're not scrambling for content. You're not feeling overwhelmed, and it's believable and it's authentic.
Right. Now, with her seeing that, I think that's a great point Africa brought up, guys. Stay in your lane. And you remember have a method to your madness for these platforms. I mean, it's great to get on there, and I jump on there every now and then and have a little bit of vanity radio and fun too, just to exhale and unwind. But your main focus throughout the week should be about your business, about your brand, and keeping it. Like for me, everything's about interviewing. I interview people. I talk about interview techniques. Thank you so much.
That's what you
do.
And
last week I did a blab that I'm going to start doing on Tuesdays, not today, but starting again next Tuesday, where I invited everybody to come in and I would do a 5-minute video interview so they could put it on their about page. And as I did it, I trained them on what I was doing, how I was doing things, a little bit about the research, how you got to wow them in the intro and all that stuff. So I was kind of teaching it at the same time. So this is too powerful of a platform, both of them, to let it go to waste. Don't you agree?
I tell people all the time, it's free. Like, why not use this free TV for yourself and for whatever it is that you have to offer? Like, that's why I can't preach it enough. Like, to my talents, is like, you have this here. You don't have to go to a casting director, to an agent, to the head of a network. Like, all you have to do is turn on your phone
without asking, and
permission.
Free to be you. Africa, I'm free to be me. We're free to be ourselves. Yes, love that, Tony.
Exactly.
No more, but not begging. Not for begging.
Yeah, no, I hate the begging and demanding and like I call them heart bullies. Like,
after enough is already. One thing though, for sure, you do want to share a little bit of you, a piece of you, so they can feel like they know you, and you do a great job on that. I remember watching a scope where you were talking about you'd been in a funk and it's been a while, and it was so real, because how many of us have not been in a funk? It happens to the best. So that was keeping it real.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody goes through it. And I think there's a way, because I tell people this too, you don't have to share all of your drama and your personal drama on social media, but there's a way to do it within a context that can help people. Like for me, I didn't need to get into all the details about why I was in a funk, but I could talk to you guys like, I've been feeling a little off this week. This is how I'm trying to deal with it. And like you said, so many people are like, I know the feeling and this is what helps me. So there's ways to be helpful versus just using people as like a dumping ground for your feelings that day. It still needs to be a way that people can help each other. And yes, Melissa, vulnerability can be beautiful. Exactly. I love when people show, themselves.
One of the things, Kalik, I can't remember. Kalik, type it in. What's that show we learned from? And we always say, tell some, save some. Don't pile them with too much stuff. Yeah, Mary.
Yeah,
Mary.
So one of their episodes, save some.
Tell some.
Well, right. Yeah. I love that. That's so good. But that's a great lesson for social media. Tell some, save some. That's the everybody needs to know that, because some stuff I'm like,
first of all, I want to applaud you, because you got a lot of things happening for you once you were on that program. Of course, things were happening for you before. And well, let me see. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm dropping the ball on this big time. But I remember you got this big branding product with where you're there. Cream of Nature. Yeah. So that's huge, because I think I read that you were the first one that they had in that leading branding position. Is that correct?
Yes, they had never, Cream of Nature is funny. They were really it was the first big job that kind of changed my career. It was my first time with them, I think in 2008, my first time on a billboard, in a magazine, like all of that. And to be able to come back and be offered, when they decided to have an actual face of the company and not just be the model, they came to me. But that's also because of the personal brand that I'd built and being on the show. So I just completed my year term with them as the brand ambassador, and it was amazing. It was a brand that I'd grown up using. It's very historic in the African American community. So to be the face of that company,
that is amazing.
Internationally, was amazing.
So congratulations! But I know there's been more. You're on billboards, and we got a lot in common. I'm telling you, girl, if I'm over there, we'd be hanging out. I know it. Because I don't know if you've done it yet, but I know you talked about your one-woman show, and that's something I still aspire to do. Tell us about that, girl.
Well, I did a little kind of workshop idea, and it's funny because I just put that snippet of the show up on my Facebook, on my YouTube page. It was a year ago when I moved back to New York from Atlanta. Some friends of mine have a dance collective that they do, maybe twice a year, and they bring in a music element. So we decided to do this thing of paying homage to Diana, to Lena Horne, Dorothy Dandridge, Ella Fitzgerald, and just paying homage to them storytelling through music and dance and art. And it was a really beautiful performance. We did this whole seamless thing of dance and music and the lighting, and it was really beautiful. So it's definitely something I would, if given the opportunity, really put into a full-on production, because this was about maybe a 20-minute show. So I would love to kind of revisit it. But it was really exciting, because it's like you don't know if you can really kind of pull that off, and it felt good. So I'm kind of with you.
I think you can pull it off, because I definitely been checking out your videos, and they're so inviting. You're so talented, and I can see why this was an easy transition for you.
Oh, thank you.
Being on Periscope, because you just do you. So why did you choose Periscope? I know you're into a lot of social media and you just connected with your fans, but how did you know Periscope was right for you, Africa?
Honestly, I didn't at first. I didn't know what it was. I was just on Twitter and I saw like the little promoted tweet that was like, oh, new live streaming app. So I was like, oh, okay, it's free. I'll always download a free app. Doesn't mean I'll keep it, but I'll download it. So I downloaded, the app, and I was like, oh, this is fun. So the first couple of weeks I was just on, watching people and chit-chatting with a few people that were here. Because again, I joined, my first broadcast was over 120 days ago. So I was on very, very early. But then I didn't use it for about a month because I was getting prepared for a job that I was getting ready to do. So I had to learn my script and do all this stuff. But then I was on set and I said, you know what, I can use this. And mid-May, something just kind of clicked for me. And I just said, well, let me figure this whole thing out. Like, is this really, is this Periscope thing going to really be a thing? And it just kind of clicked for me. And honestly, sometimes I do kind of feel like I'm not to say I'm cheating, but a lot of people are like, well, do you have any secrets? And I'm like, I don't. It just really works for me. And some platforms are naturally better fits for other people. And this with just radio. Some people are going to naturally be good at radio. Some people can work at it and be okay. But some people are going to naturally be very good at what they do. And I think it's just a platform that's a very natural fit for me. But it's not to say that other people can't get on the platforms and do well. I think you just have to acknowledge, just like with anything, there's some things that are going to be easier for some, whereas others may have to have a more targeted approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Learn and stretch. That's why I teach. I'm a big believer in stretching. I mean, I don't know if you heard me tell Ryan, getting up and dressed and all this stuff. I used to get here in pajamas and interview Oscar winner Lou Gossett Jr. And, nobody could tell, so now I got to get out.
Nobody can exactly.
Now I'm like, okay, I want to be natural, but, don't get it twisted. I ain't crazy. I'm going to do a little touching up here and there for sure. But one of the things that I really, again, applaud you for is just kind of being, in a way, almost someone that's on the cutting edge and being able to recognize the value of this platform and just throwing yourself in and not trying to figure out everything along the way. You figure it out. And another thing, you're a great supporter for a lot of you that are here now. She supports you. I follow her, and she's always saying, listening to this, I can't wait till I see my name. I'm going to capture it on phone and everything.
But I believe in that, and I think that's something that in my on all of my platforms, and just I think that people get, that's part of just my personal so-called brand, is that I support people. And if there's something that's good, I'm going to tell you about it. If there's something that can help you, I'm going to put you on. I'm going to put you on to good stuff and good people, because people do that for me. And I think there's no point in trying to hoard information or, hoard things like that. If someone wants to know about getting on the radio or doing interviews, I know to send them to Raven. If somebody wants to write a book, I know who to send them to. So I'm very much the thing. I tell people, I know what it is that I do. But if I don't do that, I can tell you who you need to talk to so they can help you do it. And I think that's why people enjoy spending time with me on these platforms, because it is that kind of space.
What message, and I want to open it up so other people can say hi to you. Okay, I'm not going to hog her up. I will share. Okay, but what final tips before we open it up for questions, Africa, would you like to share? Let's talk to both the newbies and the ones that's been playing around with it a little bit. But let's start with the newbies, because I feel like they are the ones that's going to benefit the most from it, because they're still, like I was, trying to find their way.
Right. This is like a general rule. Approach these platforms and honestly approach everything in your purpose. This is not random. Nothing in your life should be random. Nothing should be happenstance. Nothing should just be like, oh, let me just see. Everything in your life should be approached with intensity and purpose. And do the same thing with Periscope. You can have fun with it, but there should still be purpose. If you're not sure about where to start, Find people that are doing what you're doing or that are doing well, and in research, watch them, see what they do. Honestly, that's what I did. I found people that were doing well, and I was like, let me just see what they're doing. I watched Scott Williams, and I picked up a lot of his tips, and I incorporated them in my own style, and I found what worked for me. So I would say watch people that are doing well, but make it your own. You don't have to copy anyone to be popular here. Don't worry about being popular. And honestly, just start. It's never going to be easy. You know, it's never going to get unweird or not strange to be talking to your phone or your computer screen until you do it on a regular basis. It's just like the gym. If you take a week off, it's like starting all the way over. I challenge a lot of new people on my scopes to scope every day, scope once a day. It's never going to like not be weird until you do that. And you're never going to really consistently start to build a following or find what you want to talk about like until you do that. Yeah. Hey, Alan.
Hi, we got some. Hi, Raven.
Hi. Hi, Philip.
How are you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Share and ask a question, comment, whatever. We're going to try to get as many people as possible. Before we go into that, I want to just remind and thank all of you that have shared us. Please continue sharing us because we have Alex Khan coming up next. So go ahead and share the little birdie on Twitter. And tell them that Africa Miranda is here. Thank you for tuning in. I so appreciate you. I'm Raven, the talk show maven. Hi. Known by many as radio and interview conversion, because I show you how to get the ka-ching, ching, ching all the way to the bank. Show you right with those ends. Oh yeah. And I'm so excited. I've hogged her up. Africa Miranda is here. I'm sorry I fell in love with her on the New Atlanta, and I just waited for this moment. So thank you again. But I know we got some people that want to talk to you. So Alan, you came in first, and then Philip, take it away.
Okay, well, I saw people talking about Periscope on Twitter, and I went out, got the app, and the first time I got on, I just happened to that Africa happened to be on, so I stopped to watch and realized that she has some great advice to offer everybody. So she's really got her act together in terms of giving people advice and indicating what should be done to promote your brand and stuff like that. So I'm always we'll never miss an Africa scope if I'm around.
Thank you, Ellen.
I know that's right. She's amazing. So what's one thing that you, because I'm a huge fan of Africa. What's the one thing that you feel like keeps you coming back to her scopes, Alan?
Well, I think because she knows,
other than her beauty, of course.
She knows what she's talking about, and she's real. That's what I would say.
Yeah, the realness, the authenticity, you cannot miss that for sure. Well, thanks for sharing, Alan.
Okay.
Thank you, Alan. It's
stay here because we got Alex Khan coming up next. Okay, Philip, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing awesome.
I kind of caught the tail end of what was being said, but it was very noteworthy. I did a scope a little while back on creating connections and how important it is to go into creating connections, whether it be face-to-face during networking events. I teach in my seminars that when you are all about networking and creating connections, you have to go in it with the mindset of not trying to sell yourself. Don't be a telemarketer. Be a resource, because networking is all about service. If you provide a service for those you come in contact with, then things will come your way, especially if you are a good resource.
Yes.
I can tell that she's a person who understands the necessity of following up. A lot of time entrepreneurs will fall short in that aspect. We'll go to networking events, so we'll meet people. We'll collect tons of business cards. We'll tell everybody that I'm going to email you, I'm going to call you. And what happens? Well, business and life happens, and we don't follow up.
Yeah.
But it's very important that we do that, even if it's something as simple as, following up with a simple email to say it was nice meeting you. Things are a little more hectic than what I thought. Let me get back with you. And I always found it advantageous if you take that business card or use your iPhone and use the notes. Make a few notes on some of the things you talked about, especially if you meet a lot of people.
Yes, that's a good point. So you remember, like, who is this? Why was I talking to them again? Yeah.
And then when you talk with them and you touch on some of those things, then it goes a long way. It creates a connection. And I always say it's sort of like the Walmart syndrome, that, they create an impression for you by being everywhere and talking about all their products and services and how great they are for your life. So when you become a resource for people, then you become that go-to person. And as soon as they need something, who are they going to think about? They're going to think about Africa. Or they're going to think about Raven. Or they're going to think about Philip. And that's just how it works.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. They get to connect with you. They feel you. They resonate with you. And guess what, guys? Some will stay and some will say bye-bye. And don't let that worry you, right, Africa?
Right. Exactly.
You can't please everybody. If you're trying to please everybody, you're not being yourself.
That's true. Right. And you're fighting. Hey, you're fighting for last. That's what you're doing.
And, you know, someone just put in the comments that they're guilty as charged. My follow-up sucks. But you know what? You know, that's not a negative thing in the sense of all is lost. You know, that just means you have a starting point. And there's 5 things that I've always said in my seminars that are key to being an entrepreneur. And I'll say this, that any successful entrepreneur can say that some venture or some business that they tried to start or run has failed. It hasn't went where they want it to go. So you learn from those things. You gain experience from those things, and that's valuable. Entrepreneurs have a trait. Number 2, entrepreneurs have a trait of excitement. They always have a passion for what they do. Then they're easily understood. You know, if you ask a person, you know, what is it that you do? Then it's not a problem for you to take that 30 to 90 seconds of your business, you know, elevator pitch and tell someone what it is that you do. And another thing that brings me to number 4 is really about Blab. You know, it creates a source of a mentorship where we all can come here and get advice from one another. We can see what's working with another entrepreneur in some aspect of business, and that provides a mentorship for us. And then we all should have that drive to never give up. If you always have that drive, then you really have never failed. You only fail when you quit.
I love that. You only fail till you quit.
When you quit,
that is huge. And let me tell you why, because you know, when I start doing things like Periscope, being on video and live streaming that I'm not comfortable with, you know, there's so much stuff to start messing with your mind. And you're like, okay, do I really do this? Do I really need this? I already have success on this, or why am I doing this? And then you quit. What they say, 3 feet from the goal, you're stopping, you're quitting. So we're all encouraging you, those that maybe you're not having the phenomenal success that you want, that you see other people, other leaders have. Be patient with that. Stick and stay. Whatever you do, don't stop, don't go away. Don't bury your head in the sand and think this is going away, because it's only going to get bigger. Right now, we're all leaders of this. Really, we're all leaders of this. You know, other people haven't heard about it, or they're dragging their feet. So you have a chance to really go out there. It's your time to shine. Like Africa said, you have your own TV show. And no rules. People aren't just don't say, show me open your boobs and all that stuff. But other than that, you're safe. You can, you just do your thing, be you. And remember, it's about branding your message. We're reaching so many people worldwide. Why waste the space that you have? Use it to your benefit. If you're not in business, get your heartfelt message out there. You know, how many times have we said nobody listens to me? Now you have the platform. Give them something to listen to. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you,
Colleen Glover. You there?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's your time to shine. Now, I know you guys have something in common. You're both in the entertainment field. You work with Michael Jackson and all those great folks. And you know she's a star. We watched her on TV together.
Thank you.
It was so funny because when I first met you, Africa, Raven just happened to say, "Isn't that?" I mean, she caught it right away.
I said, "Wait a minute."
Okay, I got to jump in. So she was an immediate big fan of recognizing.
I know. You said, "I like that blue hat," and I was like, "Hey, Africa said she liked that." I was so excited. I got to play this for everybody before we go. Let me see if I can get it. Okay. Let's see.
And just before you do that, honey, I just wanted to say one thing for what Philip said. Philip, I don't know if you know or whatever, but all you guys on it, Raven is my wife. So, I'm upstairs in my studio. She's down in her radio station. And I marvel at watching her we're polar opposites in many ways, because I marvel at watching her. She is great at follow-up and things like that. So when you made that comment, I'm the one that said guilty as charged. My follow-up sucks. It really does. Because, and I know that really is the key. I train my students, and I've been doing it for years now. And early on, I was good with my follow-up. And I was on a webinar on Sunday with one of my students that's been with me like about 6 years. And he was just telling me how much of an impact that I made. But it dawned on me that I really made the impact on him in the early years when I was doing massive follow-up, regular and all that. Kind of gotten a little burnout and worse with it now. So it's huge. I'm going to reinvigorate that side of it. So I just wanted to pass it on to everybody listening that follow-up is huge.
Follow-up is huge, and I couldn't do this without you. I'm telling you, with all this technical stuff. So thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Okay, guys, I know we're getting close. And for Alex, and I just got to let you hear this beautiful voice. Hold on, if I make sure I can get it up volume right.
Thank you.
It get louder. Hold on.
Are you okay? Do you need me to come down?
I'll put in the link too if anybody wants to see what she's watching.
It's not playing like I wanted to. I'm trying to see if I can get it on my phone.
And if I'll put in the link that you're playing.
Oh, good. At Melissa says already sounds amazing. Check it out. I was blown away. I was wishing I was in New York so I could come hang out with Miss Africa.
Oh.
My son lives in New York, so we're going to be going to Hampton. So, Alex, yay. So we're going to be checking you out. I'm letting you in now, Alex. Awesome. That is the beautiful voice. Hi,
Alex. Hey. Hi, Raven. How are you?
Doing good.
Hello.
That's awesome. Awesome crowd in here.
I know. That's a good one.
In the background, you hear the beautiful sounds of Africa Miranda and The Man I Love, if you remember that, and Billie Holiday. I'm Raven, the Talk Show Maven. This has just been a fantabulous day here with all of these great leaders that I found to be leaders on Periscope. I call them the icons. And this is the introduction to my icon interview showcase. So stay tuned. There'll be more. And this is amazing. I think Africa put the link down there. We got Alex Khan coming up next. And guys, this is just the start of what is going to be something huge. They're all going to the summit. I hate I'm going to miss it. But you guys stay plugged in. I know. I'm trying. We're still trying. We haven't exited out, but it's kind of hard because I got so many interviews stored.
I understand.
I can't cancel everybody. I won't have a show.
No, you can't. You can't.
Sure. But I just want you guys to enjoy her music, find out more about her, and any closing words as we go out Africa. But first of all, let me say thank you for making a dream come true interview. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, I appreciate you, Raven. And thank you for inviting me on. I'm so glad we got to chat again from the first time. And I look forward to when we get to chat again in the future.
Absolutely.
And for everybody that took the time to watch and hang out with us today, I really appreciate it. Again, I say all the time that these platforms, it's not about what people are like giving me. It's really about being able to connect and say thank you and help the people that have been supporting me in my career and as it continues to grow. And I love all of the new people that, didn't know me and now they're mixing with the family that did. So it's a wonderful platform, and use it. Use this platform to your advantage. It's here, it's free, and it's all over the world. So anything that you want, you can use this to benefit you and your life. So I just really encourage everybody to take advantage of it. So, and you can find me at Africa Miranda everywhere on social media.
Absolutely. Africa Miranda, check her out, and her
everywhere on social media.
Website. That's a little beauty, lifestyle, and all that, right? And don't forget her scopes. Yeah.
Yeah, I scope nightly. I'll also be speaking at Periscope Summit. So, my whole thing is educate, inspire, grow. And it's really helping my fellow talents grow into brands. And that's really my goal. But we also talk about, social issues and political things and pop culture. So it's a little mix of everything on my channel. But it's really, I want people to live this life and use their art and be able to create the life that they want for themselves. So if I can help you do it, that makes me happy.
And here she can help you do it. Check her out, her scopes, guys. Seriously. They are so from the heart. And any of you single people, of course, I haven't checked out her single dating thing, but you got to go out and talk about that a little bit.
Well, Tuesday nights on my whole thing is my channel is Africa TV. So every night is, something different. And most nights are talent scope, but Tuesday night is single scope, where we talk about, all things dealing with being single. So last week was, dating in your career. We talked about soulmates, online dating. So tonight I have a couple ideas about tonight. I haven't really officially decided what tonight's scope will be on, but I have a couple really good ideas, but it's always about the life of being single. So, and I always give a little good story time of my escapades as well. So it's always a good night.
Well, you follow her. You'll purely be entertained. Always an experience with Africa, whether you're watching her on TV, whether you're watching her sing or dance, or see her on those beautiful pictures. Check out those pictures. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Oh, and also, if there's anybody on here that has that's in the Northeast that has Optimum Cable, my latest commercial, turn to channel 900. I'm the girl that walks you through how to use your cable, so you can say hey to me there. So that's another spot where I am.
Well, check her out. She's known as the girl with that hair, because she does have beautiful hair, and she's known as a triple threat. Did I say triple? Yes, I did. A three. Triple threat, because the girl sings and she sings and dance and moves. That goes together, dance and move, and she models. She gives you an experience. She has a great presence, and more than that, she's authentic, and she knows how to work. She really knows how to work this Periscope, and not just Periscope, social media. She stays connected with her fans, and that's what it's about, guys.
Oh, I appreciate
staying connected with that. Thank you, Africa.
Thank you, Raven. And I know Khalik and Alex, I hope you have a great interview. I can't wait to meet you at the summit. I see Robert T. Stern just jumped in. Hey, Robert. And see you later, guys. All right. I'll be on tonight for Single Scope, so I'll see y'all later. Bye, Raven. Mwah. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. All righty. So now it is time for Alex Khan. Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Raven?
I am doing good. I mean, the fourth interview back to back, and I'm still feeling it. I am still feeling it. Now I got to tell everyone, let me do my little intro. Okay. So, and then we'll get started with you, Alex. Okay. So have some water or something. I'm going to grab some. And for all of you just tuning in, thank you. Hi, Robert. Thank you, each and every one. Ryan, thank you so much for the interview. Africa, thank you for the interview. All of you joining in. This is Raven, a talk show maven, and you are tuned in to Careers from the Kitchen Table, the show that teaches you how to cook without the cooking, giving you some good old home recipes for your business success. Oh, yeah, we bring the best of the best here to share their insider secrets, their recipes for success, their secret sauce. And today's secret sauce on my Icon interview showcase is all about Periscope. Yes, live streaming, Periscope, and Blab, and how it can elevate your business. How you have to just dive on in, get out of your head, get into your heart. So our next guest is Alex Khan. Now, Alex is a serial entrepreneur, Periscope consultant, and editor of a fashion magazine, Rush 4. Now, I asked him to come here because I know this man's got some secrets. I do watch his scopes. He's another one that's excellent. I really chose these people because I think that they're authentic, and I'm all about authenticity. So I like to choose people that I feel are people you can connect with. They're approachable, and they have this wonderful authenticity, but they also know their stuff. And so we're going to bring Alex on so he can share some of his insider secrets. But first, Alex, we want a little bit of your story. So share a little bit of your story. I mean, where you came from and how you got here.
It's like every day I'm telling my story. I think like the Blab users are kind of feeling bored. But okay, I will just do a quick sum up about my story. So I started with the internet, the online business, when I was 15. And I started a website called like Funniest.de. It was like a fun page. And I fell in love with the internet. It was like my first love. For some people, it's like a human being. For me, it was like the internet, And since then, I stick with it. I was doing modeling. Next to it, I was running a company called Attractive People. It was like a social network. And I jumped from one social network to the next one, and I built it up some. And I sold my first real company to the Netherlands Fashion Week. It was like a model community. And I sold my second one. It was like a mobile marketplace for fashion to a publishing house in Germany. And now I'm selling candles. It has nothing to do with the internet, but I'm at least selling them online. So I'm still sticking with the internet. And next to it, I'm pretty active with Periscope. I think that was the quickest sum up of my life. Yeah.
That was really good. Candles, huh?
Yeah,
Is
candles.
that the kind that doesn't have all the soot and all that stuff in it? Absolutely. Well, candles are great for sure. And I know a lot of people that are in that as a direct sales with candles, and it's a really nice smell, and they don't have all the soot. So that's a good one to be in. Periscope Consultant. Tell us more about that.
Well, I need to come up with a name, and Periscope is actually not, it's not like something I'm making money with it. It's just my way of giving back because of the luck I had in the last years. So, I was thinking like about Periscope expert, but what is an expert? When a technology is 5 months old, you cannot be like an expert, I was thinking about a strategist, but it sounds too complicated. So I came up with the name consultant because people understand this, and that's what I do. So I'm almost on a daily basis. I'm writing blog posts on my blog about how you can achieve more with Periscope. So you can just go on my blog, which is alexkahn.tv, like my name, with .tv, and you find like a couple of ideas and what I came up with, how you can embrace yourself, how you can be more successful on Periscope and take it to the next level. And my latest thing, I think you didn't know it because when we Skyped about it, I was not announcing it, is Periscope TV. And Periscope TV, I'm so passionate about it because I simply love the effect of it. I partnered up with TechBoard, which is a great company. And what you can do is you can add the hashtag CanScope.
CanScope.
CanScope or CanScope. Maybe in English you pronounce it CanScope. In Germany you would say CanScope. So you have like the hashtag CanScope, and you can put it on your Twitter, on your Facebook, on every blog post, no matter where you are. Wine, Instagram, it doesn't matter. And you show up on the website CanScope TV. And with one click, you can connect with each other, no matter which service you're using. It's instantly, and people can connect to each other. And I'm starting to creating it now to find like nice topics. But there is 2 tabs. One is like the free tab, which is everyone is in it, and the other one is like the created tab. And in between, 23 hours, because I just did a scope, so I know the stats. In between 23 hours, we hit 850,000 people. Is that great?
Woo! Woohoo! Woohoo! That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so awesome.
Scope TV.
KHAN, your last name. That's amazing. Awesome. Yes. So we'll all have to hashtag that for sure. Okay, so inquiring minds like mine and all the listeners here wants to know, Alex, what's been your secret sauce with this big thing on Periscope?
I mean, you named it a couple of times. It's really authenticity. I see those people who are really successful on Periscope, they're authentic because it's live. You cannot make something up. You cannot pre-script something and record it like 10 times and then you put it on YouTube. It must work on at first take. Otherwise, it won't work, And of course, there are a couple of techniques you can use. You can start with putting, many people forget like a title. Many people forget like a thumbnail. Many people forget like to have the first 100 seconds, which are really important, which make or break the show, to get that right, to welcome the viewers. As an interview host, like you need to introduce yourself. You need to introduce your guests. That's also live streaming. It's the same thing. It's the same technology. You need to start from day one, from second one, and directly draw attention. What I have like is my AAA rule. You need to take action. So you need to do something for it. You need to prepare yourself. You need to pre-promote yourself. Means like say it on Twitter. You can use CanScope now, but before that, put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, tell your friends about it that you're going to scope, and then start with your scope. The second A after action is attention. You need to draw attention to you, to yourself, to your scope, so that the people understand it. Because a lot of scopers I saw, they start like this.
Yeah, that looked like me at first.
There is someone. oh, someone just joined in. That's so cool, you know. Hey, there's 2 people right here. Now, how are you? You know, and they forget that people watch the replay, you know, and the replay starts from second 1. And when you watch a replay of a person and a person's like this, I mean, what do? You just close it down. That's it, you know. So draw attention from the first second. And the next A is like add value. You know, you need to add value to the people. That's really, really important. If you just say like entertain myself, I say like, why should I do it? You know, I'm watching you, not the other way around. You need to entertain me, you know, you need to educate me, entertain me, either way, solve a problem or add value. That's the 2 things you need to do also on Periscope.
Yeah, and Ryan Steinelson just said, I see, Ryan, I'm practicing that name, getting it better and better. The emojis, really, really important, right? The emojis, he said, don't forget to add those in front of your title.
Definitely. And if you want to get really the secret sauce, you even use a special font. But if you use a special font, you can download a free font application and add like a special font. I have it, for example, in my name. But if you do this, because it draws even more attention. I mean, emoticons, most of the people do already, but you can still do something with a different font. But if you use a different font, you need to take care that this font is working on iOS and on Android, because there are fonts which only work on iOS and the other way around. So try it out with 2 devices, or just take a look what other people are doing, and just copy it. But true, yeah, emoticons is great too.
Awesome. Well, I want to go back to your triple A's of success. I don't know how you're naming that now, but I love it. Action, attention, and add value. So let's just break that down a little bit. Let's start with the action. What are some serious steps under the action? Let's go there first.
Okay. So, I mean, you start a scope with preparation. Means like you think, first of all, what is your niche? What are you interested in about to scope?
Uh-oh, you froze. Hold on, Alex. Can you hear us, Alex? Because you are frozen.
I can hear you.
Okay. Now you're back.
Back again. So, as I said, I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek, and it all starts with why. Means like you need to know what's your why behind it, because that's the emotional proposition in the whole thing. And then take a look at people who have the same why like you. So for example, if your why is like, you want to talk about fashion. So take a look at other scopers who deal with fashion and take a look how they're doing it, like the successful one. You can take a look at Twitter. You can, for example, go on Twitter, enter the word #Periscope and then fashion. And then all those people pop up with the hashtag fashion, which is scoping. And then you can find those people who are scoping about fashion. This works with modeling, photography, travel, whatever you want. Okay. Then you take a look how they're doing it. Then you start an outline. You write some keywords. Don't write like word by word, because this doesn't work. If you read like this, no one wants to know it, you know? So do some keywords, just simple keywords so you don't forget something. And then you prepare yourself and study it into it. You say like, okay, I have a plan, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. I would recommend like the first scope between 5 and 15 minutes. Okay. That you can do it. And then you start to pre-promote your show before you go online. Means like you tell the people on Twitter, well, I go online in 15 minutes, for example, or on 20 minutes or whatever you need. But I would say like between 10 and 20 minutes so that people don't forget about it again. You can also promote it on Facebook and Instagram and other channels so that you make sure that you have already some followers to come in, you know, because it's nothing worse than have 0 viewers when you have your first show. You know, you feel so bad. And I know, and I talked with a couple of people that's pretty bad. So pre-promote your show in some way. So then the next step is starting the show. It's the action part. Okay. Yeah. You start with 2 things which are crucial. First thing is you enter a title. Many people forget this and just hit the red button and go online, which is bad because no one knows. Everyone gets like a push notification with nothing in it, just your name. So enter a title, what you're scoping about. Like, for example, the 5 must-haves in fashion, if you're into fashion, for example. Okay. Something which is interesting. And what people love to do and what works is like the BuzzFeed technique. So, for example, 5 must-haves let me show you which are they, or something like this, So you catch it in a kind of a loop or something. So the 5 top tips now revealed, something like catchy that the people click it, They say, oh, that's cool. Okay, I'm going to click it. Okay. And then you need to think, when you start your show, you need to set up a thumbnail. And a thumbnail, what is a thumbnail? A thumbnail is a little image which pops up in the global feed, which also sees your followers when they start Periscope, and it's on top if they're following you. And it's important because the first image your camera catches when you start a stream, the first frame, that's your...
Okay, fading out again.
It's
Alex,
automatically for many people, so also myself. Okay. It was also my first goal. You said this. Oh.
Yeah, get that last sentence again, right at you. You got like, what last? Never mind. Yeah, you're back.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Am I back? Okay, I'm back. So also for me, it was the same thing. The thumbnail is the first frame when you start a show. So what you need to do is what I did, for example, and many people also did it. You stand like this and you say, okay, I'm starting the show. And then you turn like this to show it. And what happens? It's the first image, So hopefully you never do this with your mobile when you're naked or something, because done. It's your first image, your first show, and you show yourself downstairs naked. So make sure it's something catchy and attractive, okay, with your first show and your first image. And that's the action part. Then you start the show. And then from this moment on, you start to draw attention. And that's basically when you start about welcoming the replay viewers. You start with the replay viewers. So why the replay viewers? Because the live viewers will come in after the first 10 seconds. Only the replay viewers are the viewers which see the first 10 seconds. So you start your stream with welcoming the replay viewers. And then you tell them what you're streaming about today, so that they know, okay, welcome, that's what I'm streaming about. And then you introduce yourself. And then you slowly start to talk to the live viewers, because they slowly are popping in because they got the push notification, they see you, and so on. One thing I forgot, yes, you need to activate Twitter. That's crucial. You need to activate Twitter, because then it's got tweeted out to all your Twitter followers and they can directly click on the link. It's not only important because they can come into your scope, it's also important because they can then see it on a desktop device. Because they can just click on the link and then they can watch it. Not only live, but also the 24 hours when you can watch the replay. What the scope is about. And then what I always like to do, and a lot of scopers do the same thing, they basically say some question, they ask some question where the people can engage with you. Like, where are you viewing from? Are you feeling all right? Give me a thumbs up, just one question that the people are saying, okay, that's live. I can do something here. That's awesome. It's TV 2.0. So just one question. And you should do this actually every 5 to 10 minutes at least, to ask them something that they still see, okay, it's working out. It's like in school, the teacher's asking you something. You directly back in the room, drives awareness to the whole thing. So that's basically the start.
Part of you when you say that. I think they feel part of you when you go to the scope and you ask them, hey, if you're feeling good today, thumbs up, or let me know what state you're in, or different things like that. They feel like they're part of it. And that's the whole thing about these platforms, is connecting with our audience, our listeners, our customers, our clients, our fans. Finally, them being able to put a face with the voice or with the written message and really feel like, okay, wow, I'm connecting to this person. They know who I am, and I know who they are. So that's awesome. Okay, so that's action. Now, the attention part, let's talk about that. One thing that rolls from the action part into the attention is being able to welcome them and saying, where are you calling from and stuff like that. That gets their attention, and so talk more about the attention and some of the key things about that.
Yeah. So as I said, the first 100 seconds is make or break your show. Not only on the live, for the live viewers, but especially on the replay viewers. You will lose them if you don't draw attention from the first moment. So what you can do, there are hundreds of different techniques. Let's talk about some of them. So what you can do, for example, you can say like, well, I give you a keyword in the first seconds, like it's the keyword rockstar. And at the end, I'm going to tell you what you can do with it. Or you can say something like, I have 5 tips, but the last tip I'm going to tell you at the end is the one who really will drive you crazy because it's so good,
Get them excited, yes.
Yeah, you tease them a little bit, It's like an entertainment. It's not only education, it's an entertainment. So you need to find ways. So, for example, you can give them a code and say like, well, you need to go on a website, but the website I'm telling you at the end. Or the other way around. That's the website, but at the end I'm sharing you the code, So those are the kind of ways. You need to find ways that they stick with you in some way, and asking them, or you can say like, what I always like to do is I'm telling the people, at the end you can ask questions because it's engaging and so on, because it's always difficult to mix up this conflictionary target between dealing with a question of one person versus adding value to all of them. It always needs to be a mix, because especially when you have a troll and so on, some people say like, well, you need to deal with the troll, you need to resurrect you need to help the troll and so on. But I say, well, sometimes it's maybe better just block him, because maybe 200, 300, 400 people are in the scope. And if you deal with that one person, you lose maybe 50 because they say like, well, I don't care about this person. I want to hear what you have to say,
Yeah.
So what I always like to do is like, actually you do it in speeches and so on. You say like, well, questions at the end. So the people who want to ask you questions, they need to stick till the end, So that's another thing.
And I'm glad you said that, because for any of you that have a question, stay to the end because I'm going to open up the seat so that you can come in and talk to Alex. How cool that? Absolutely. I'm Raven, the talk show maybe known by many as the queen of internet radio and interview conversion. That's because I show you how to get out there and get the icons like Alex and Ryan and Africa to say yes, yes, yes to coming on your show. And then I show you how to repurpose and leverage that and turn it into products so that you can, rock your interview talk all the way to the bank. Can I hear you say ka-ching, 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 ching, ching? Absolutely. I'm also the founder of Amazing Women of Power. Check us out at awaptalk247.com. This is my final interview for the day, but we got more coming up this week. Let's see. We got Ryan Bell tomorrow, so stay tuned. And then we have, we got Robert Stern. We got a whole slew of people on Thursday. Mark Shaw. We got Kathy Hack on Friday. So stay tuned. We're going to be bringing you these top icons in the Periscope industry. I call them. They're people that certainly helped me to get past my fear and move slowly into my power so that I can Periscope and blab my way to my purpose, getting out there, getting my message out. And that's what it's all about, having these great platforms. So getting back to the questions, I'm going to open up the doors or the seats or whatever they call them in about 5 minutes, so stay tuned. But Alex is sharing his 3 AAA, I call them success tips: action, attention, and add value. So we talked about action, we talked about attention. So is there anything else you want to say about attention before we move into the add value part?
I mean, the attention and the add value part flows seamless into it, because the add value part is also the attention part is also adding value in some way, because you give a sneak peek about the value you give and so on. You anticipate what's going to come. But the add value part, of course, it really it's different from person to person, because for me, for example, it's Periscope tips and tricks, like how you be more successful, how you gain more viewers, more hearts, more followers. For someone else, it's maybe fashion related. For someone else, it's the best traveling hotspots. For someone else, it's the restaurant tips and cooking tips and so on. So it's hard if you tell me now what's the secret sauce of adding value. I can tell you my secret sauce about adding value, about tips and tricks by naming them, because that's what you need to do, and you need to think and rethink in a couple of ways. But I think some things are really important for adding value. First of all, smile. Smile at the people. The people should understand that you're having fun, that this is not something that they are annoying and you just do it because you don't know what you should do with your life and you just need desperately to make money out of them, and that's why you tell something, and at the end they already feel that you try to sell them something and so on. It must be fun. It must be relaxed in some way. You must be passionate. second word. You need to be passionate about your topic, about what you do, because people, we have this inner gut feeling in ourselves, and especially we are usually not distracted, when we're on a mobile phone, because we take a look at it, it's very close, and we're watching this one person talking to us, and we feel, and I really have the feeling with some people, you can really feel they're trying too hard. They're trying too hard. So you should try to be relaxed in some way. Maybe look more scopes which can help you. Maybe engage with some people with the comments so far. Maybe try it with some friends, before. So maybe do private scopes. You can also do a private scope with someone, or just do FaceTime with someone and practice it in some way. But don't, if it feels awkward for you, another tip would be put maybe a picture next to your phone, so that you don't have the feeling you talk to yourself, but you're talking to actually a person you like, If you don't like your viewers, at least you have someone you like. It might help for someone who feels too awkward about it. So it's a couple of things you can do. And then, you need to be great in what you're talking about. And if you're not great, there's even more need for being passionate about it. Yeah. And that's actually, then you will rule the world. I believe, seriously, that's why I'm also doing this tips and tricks. I believe that Periscope is the fastest way to embrace right now your community and your network, because it's live and it's authentic and people can touch you in some way. Periscope was the only network where I actually met people in the first 2 months when I used it. Wow. I met a couple of people in Los Angeles. I met someone here in Munich, and it never happened before. It's really, there is the border between offline and online. It's almost not there, because you really feel you're talking to the people. And it's not the case. It's not the case in any other network. If you post something on Facebook and I come back 1 hour later or 2 hours later and someone commented, I'm not having the feeling of a conversation, Here I really have the feeling I have a conversation with a lot of people. And that's great. That's awesome. And that's the revolution.
Not just a conversation, but actually connecting with them. One of the key things that you brought up that I'm very, very adamant about is getting out there so people can feel your passion, not just hear you say you're passionate about something, but feel your passion. I was so glad that you talked about that, because that's extremely important. So for anyone that's just getting out there, don't be afraid to be you, because if you are, they're not going to feel your passion. You might be going through all of his A's. You might be going through all the techniques and stuff that you learned from Africa, and also that you learned from Ryan. But because you're not in it, you're not wholeheartedly, authentically in it, they're not feeling it. So I just want to encourage you to go out there and be free to be you, because these platforms really allow you to do that. And I'm thankful for it. I think it's just great that we can all just relax, Alex, and just be us, for sure.
Sure.
Absolutely. Now, I want to talk to you about the hashtag stuff. Can you share some secrets, some insider secrets on that? Because I know that's very important too.
Yeah. So, honestly, I'm really a newbie on hashtags.
Okay.
I'm getting very fast into technologies, and so I was thinking like, well, Alex, you need a hashtag. So what can you take? Alex Kahn is your name, but it doesn't fit so really. So let's take Kahn Scope, because it's my last name.
Mm-hmm.
Kahn,
I love that.
And let's do Scope. Okay. And I started with it, and basically my idea, and that's actually a great idea to see who shared your show on Twitter, because if you put a hashtag in your title, many people don't know it, and someone is sharing it on Twitter, it of course comes with the hashtag in it, because he's sharing the title. And when you look up, if you look up on Twitter after your hashtag, you see all the people who actually shared your broadcast, because there's no other way to see it. You need to put a hashtag in it. And so I started with my hashtag and kind of put it like kind of brand, and it went just through the roof. I started 11 days ago, and that's actually when I came up with ConScope TV, because of it. Because in between 10 days, we hit 1.5 million people and hit I think 2.5 million impressions with that hashtag.
Wow.
And I'm not an expert on this, but I think this is pretty cool. And so I came up and said, like, come on, let's share this hashtag because it's already working out. And now think it was only me who was working it and asking the people to do it. What will happen if everyone will use this hashtag for himself, for his own promotion, and put a website on? And that's where Periscope TV actually came. And I mean, the rest is just 24 hours old. But we hit another 850,000 people in between 23 hours, which is
that's insane. Awesome. Yeah, at Isabel Stark said, basically viral. It's all about taking stuff viral. That is so important because we have the opportunity to do that. And so just go out there and do it. Take it viral. Don't be afraid to get out there and promote. Let's talk about that, Alex, because some people, they're kind of holding back in getting that promotion out. And there's so many different avenues we have. Can you maybe throw out some real creative ways that you find yourself promoting or that's helped you?
For promoting myself?
Mm-hmm. As far as promoting your show and getting it out there, other than Twitter and Facebook, any other ideas on the promotion part?
Well, I started from zero, on Periscope. I mean, I put some screenshots of my profile when I was on day one. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you the story. I told it once before about how I started with Periscope. It's actually pretty funny because, and it's always hard to say something's pretty funny because expectations went up like crazy because now I have to come up with something that's really funny. So that's the problem with it. But basically, I crossed that article about Periscope came out, and Twitter bought it before they even started for 100 million. And I was in the app business before, and I said, like, 100 million? Twitter? I mean, they know. How can they do something for such a company which is not even existing officially? So I took a look at it, and on day one, I started with it. I downloaded the application, and it was live streaming. And I'm coming from that field where I really believe the more you can do in an engagement part, the better it will be. Interactivity, and some people know about my history of internet and so on. Not talk about it right now, but I directly got hooked about it, and I did my first stream. And I didn't know what to stream because mobile streaming was pretty new. You know, there was only Meerkat 1 month before, and that's it. So I was thinking I was in Malaysia at that time, and I was recording my employee who was really funny. And I wrote like most funny employee ever. And he's looking like a young Albert Einstein kind of guy, you know, like with the hair all over the place and so on. So I was just recording on him and see like what's happening. I was not saying anything. I was doing all mistakes you can do. Didn't know it better. And then some people joined in, and one said like, you know, throw a pen on him. And I said, well, it's my employee. What can happen, you know? So I took a pen and then it went up, you know. People started to tap the screen. I didn't know what it is, did hearts and all this kind of stuff. Didn't know anything. And I ended the stream and I had like 1,000 hearts.
Wow.
Something around this. Yeah. But it was like a 20-minute stream or something like this. There was like 45 people or something in. Mm-hmm. And I said like 1,000 hearts. Wow. I only get like maybe 50 or 60 likes on Facebook. 1,000 hearts. Must be crazy. I didn't know that people can give like more than one heart and so on. I felt like it's insanely great, and I'm the new inventor of live streaming and so on. So I found that most love list, and at this time you needed to have like around 10,000 hearts to be on the most love list. And for those people who don't know what the most love list is, it's like the 30 best Periscope, or best is maybe the wrong word, most love with the most hearts.
Okay.
Periscopers are featured by Periscope itself. And then everyone who downloads the app goes in this top list, can see them and can follow them. And you needed to have like 10,000 hearts to be there. And I had like 1,000 hearts. So I said, yeah, come on, 9,000 more. It's just 9 streams more and I'm done with it. I'm top 30 in the world. That was my basic thought. Would be crazy. I don't know what to do with it. But I said, that's crazy. Arnold Schwarzenegger will download it and then he will see my face. So that was my basic thing about it. You know, that's how I started. I said, like, everyone, you know, maybe John Lennon Jay Leno will download it and so on. So anyway, basically I started some streams and it was really stupid. I was begging for hearts. I was like the biggest heart beggar. I said like, you know, my friend jumps in the pool. If you give me 5,000 hearts, you know, my friend will say, I love you for every heart you give him. You know, I'm doing like 10 push-ups for every 10 hearts you give me. I did all those kind of stuff, but it was not educated. You know, people didn't know what to do. They said, well, okay, fuck it. You know, I'm just tapping for hearts. It's okay. And so I managed to be on the top and the most love list on day one. So yeah, and from then it took off because I was on the most loved list, and that was basically lucky. And so everyone who downloads the application, now I think I'm on place 6 or 7 in the world from the most loved list.
Are you serious?
So yeah, it's crazy. It really took off. It really took off.
You just just keep doing what you're doing, and do it from your heart, do it from your soul, do it from your gut, and stay authentic, and just keep shooting for your goals. So let's talk about that, having goals while you're on this platform, Blab or Periscope. Obviously I feel, and you feel, it's important to have goals because it kind of keeps you laser focused and not being all over the place. Can you kind of share some thoughts on that?
Definitely. I mean, focus is probably, I did a blog post on my blog about my biggest mistake on Periscope. And my biggest mistake and what I learned out of it is that I was not focused. I started with fun, then I went over to travel. I went to modeling. I didn't know what to do. I didn't found something I was really passionate about, really interested in. So I tried everything, and everything kind of worked out in some way, but it was always something different. And I know from my previous businesses that people, if you're great in one thing, you're really lucky, and people will remember you for this one thing. There's almost no person in the world, besides maybe Steve Jobs, who's not in the world anymore, but where people know him for more than one thing, And even for Steve Jobs, I think most people just know him from Apple. So if you're really great, do one thing. So focus on it. And it helped also that some business partners and friends of mine jumped on and said, like, are you crazy? I mean, you're running companies and you're putting, like, for hearts, you do say, like, I love you and those kind of things. I said, like, yeah, that's probably true. So I should maybe change my topic in some way. And one question, I also put it on my blog, is like, what are people asking you when they meet you? What's the advice they're asking you for? And for me, it's basically how I can make business, because I'm a business guy. I'm building up companies. And so many people approach me. I said, like, okay, I mean, that's what I'm really good at it. So why I don't embrace that technique? And everyone wants to be better at Periscope and live streaming and talk about it. And I found some ideas, and I invented some kind of things about, was like the first one who did like the promotion streams. A lot of people doing it right now. I put it even on YouTube. So you can promote your scope. Other people can write what they're commenting on, what they're streaming about. And I was the first one who received a call on Periscope. So other people doing it now, so you can call people. The first one who did the split screen on Skype. Alex was the first one who did it all in all, and I was the first one who can Skype me. It's like Blab, but on Skype, basically, and you split the screen. And now the newest thing is like Techboard with the CanScope hashtag. So you need to come up with some ideas where you really help people. And of course, it helps for me that I don't need to make money with it, but I'm just doing it because I like it. And I'm passionate about it, and you help.
Yeah, I know you said that yesterday when we chatted offline. I love that. This is your way of giving back and to the world, and showing people, you figure this out and you feel like hey, if I can show people how to do this, I mean, look at how many people you're helping, because we all have an opportunity with all of you leaders' help in getting our message out, but not just getting it out, but getting it out effectively, getting it out where it will hit home with someone, getting it out to where it will go viral. The message will go viral, because together we can change the world. I mean, we always are talking and complaining about what we can't do, or why, this needs to be changed, or this needs to be changed. I met a songwriter that wrote a song called Be the Change. And that's so true. We all are in a situation now where we can be the change with our message. I want to go back to what you said, and then we're going to open it up for everyone to come in and ask some questions. So I'm going to open it up, but I'm going to ask him one more question, and then get your final tips before we go to Q&A. But one thing that, you definitely have talked about over again is kind of like, not just doing these scopes, but make your mark in your introduction, make your mark in your attention grabbing and taking your action and adding the value, make your mark, as Africa says, stay in your lane. Don't be all over the place. I was the same way as you. I was doing scopes on this and this and this and this. And to my husband colleague said, Raven, just, do what you do, interview, show people how to interview, show people how to go out there and get the top experts, and just teach them what you know. And you get on there and don't try to do all the other stuff that you see these amazing people do. Stick to what you do. Interview, And once I just fell into that. But I think when we first see scope, we see so many people doing so many different things. It's easy to fall in that path. So how do we stay in our lane, as Africa says? How do we, stay true to who we really are and don't sound like a used salesman like I did at first?
Well, we all did. In the beginning, we all did. I mean, I was selling myself for huts like crazy in the beginning. I'm happy I didn't have many viewers, and that every 24 hours, every replay got deleted, so no one has it anymore. But first of all, you need to understand who you are. That's the truth. I mean, you can go back into your past and say, like, okay, what were you passionate about as a kid? Mm-hmm. Another question. I mean, it's about question. I'm always a believer in who asks questions is controlling what the other one is thinking. Mm-hmm. So if I ask you about your last holiday, what do I do? What do? You think about it, so I can control your mind in some way when I ask the question. You can do it with yourself also. So I can ask myself, what did I like it? What would I do if I don't need to make money with it? Mm-hmm. What would be my real passion? And you come down to one thing, you should write it down. Or maybe if it's too broad, too many things, do it the other way around, do the technique. So for example, some people, they don't know what's like their dream husband or wife, or they don't know which is like the dream place to live, but they know pretty well what they don't like. They know pretty well where they don't want to live, or what would be characteristics then they shouldn't have. And maybe you start with this and exclude all those things you don't want to broadcast about, and then you come down to one thing maybe which you're really passionate about, and then you just need to stick with it. You need to stick with it, you need to focus and go for it. That's my advice.
Love it. Stick with it, focus, and go for it. Remember his fabulous A's: action, attention, and add value. Now, we got a couple people that want to ask questions, but on the adding value, would you agree that when we think about adding value, we have to really not think about so much what's in it for us, but what's in it for them? I kind of changed that acronym to WIFT, because I think when we think about what's in it for me, we get too stuck in me. But when we change it around to say what's in it for them, we're okay, I want somebody, if I make one person, if I help one person with the breakthrough by listening to my scope, or make that transformation, then I'm satisfied. I made a difference with one person. So how do you feel about that as far as making sure our message is on point for our audience?
It's a double-edged sword in some way, because of course you need to add value to the people, but it also needs to add value to yourself, because you cannot give without receiving. It just doesn't work out. So the most beautiful part would be you are interested in something, you are passionate about something, you share this passion with someone, and the other one feel in the same way. So you attract like-minded people who think in the same way like you think. So you don't need to give something in some way and don't get something back.
Absolutely.
That doesn't work out. But of course, it's when you think about a topic, you need to check if there is a demand for it. If I talk about a topic where like two people in the world, like for example, rocket science on a special planet or something, I'm so passionate about it and so cool. Well, the chance is pretty slow that I find many people that might be interested in it. So of course it's true what you say, but I always love to tell the people, find something you're really passionate about. And sometimes people are not even passionate about the topic, but they love to see how passionate you are about it, and that gives them something.
Absolutely. It's all again that passion,
all about
let
passion.
them feel that passion. Absolutely. Well, we got Morgan here. Hi, Morgan. And of course we got Khalid, so we'll go with Morgan first. Hey, Morgan, thank you for coming.
Oh, yeah.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now, yeah.
Now I can.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you for accepting me into the box. That's what I said. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. But yeah, I guess my question actually for, Alex, I've been watching Alex's scopes and I've been watching kind of your stuff. And my question for Alex first is really, growing this, massive following you have, what you said, just following your passion. Is it something where you set a schedule? Because with my scopes, I do daily inspiration and I talk about basically liberating your life and really getting the self-control you need in your life and really like making it happen. So I do a lot of motivational speaking. So is it more so setting that schedule and then going out there, or is it more so like, saying, okay, go here after this, or kind of what's like your method towards that?
I mean, there are a couple of things you can do. First of all, of course, it helps to scope at the right time, and have the right timing. I'm not pretty good at it because my schedule doesn't allow it, unfortunately, that I can always scope at the same time. For me, it's a little bit hard, but the best time I found out, it's probably 6 p.m. EST, which is like 3 p.m. PDT, which is like midnight in Europe. That's what I found out is the best time to scope. So if you can scope at this time, it's pretty good internationally. If you only focus on the US, of course, you can differentiate in some way because you can do it a little bit later or a little bit earlier. Probably a little bit later is better because people have more time and don't work anymore. But think about that it's a global community. What I also like to do is you need to grow at some point. And you can do this during your scopes in that way that after it's a little bit, if you give something and you, for example, added a tip or an insight or you revealed something. So something where you think like when you plan your scope, there are those moments where the tension goes up because you said something great, and you see like the reaction from the hearts, from the comments. You can ask them, was this a cool tip? The people do the thumbs up and then they enter the thumbs up. And when you see like, okay, they found it cool, then you ask them that they give you something back. Like, for example, you ask like, so if you like this, and they already said it because they did the thumbs up, please share that scope. If you find this is useful, the information I'm giving you, just swipe right on an iOS device, swipe up on an Android device, and share the scope to your followers because I'm sure they might be interested in you if it's useful for you. I don't like people who in the beginning, in the first minute, ask like, please share that scope because I don't know you. I don't know if you add value. Why should add someone and invite someone if I don't know you, So do it when they got to know you in some way and they know you really adding value. You can also do this at the end because it might not help for the live broadcast because you're about to end it, but it will for sure help you for the replays because everyone, when you share it to their followers, will see it in their feed and they can still watch your replay. So that's one way to expand your network. Another thing helps is when at the end you have like your intro, you have an outro. And I always like to have like a 5 points outro. So I start with recapping. And I say this also in my scope. For someone who missed the beginning, not a problem. Stick till the end. It's again for you, Raven, the draw attention part, Stick to the end because I'm going to do a quick recap about the most important topics, what I talked about. So first one is a recap. Second point is appreciation. You thank your people, you give some emotion, you thank them that they spent their data plan, and it's really costly, especially if you're not in the US. It's really costly to watch a scope and you're not on Wi-Fi. So you thank them for giving their time. They could, for example, having a dinner with their girlfriend. They could do something else, but they spent their time to watch you. So say thank you to the people. Number 3 is, and that's an important part, hardly anyone is doing, give a sneak peek. Give a sneak peek about the next show, upcoming soon. Raven does this great, she's saying it all the time, tomorrow I'm going to have like Mark's show, name dropping, 1, 2, 3, that's what we're going to do. So you do the same thing, so you tell the people what they will see in the next show. And quickly after you tell this, you do the connection, you build the bridge and say like, if you want to see this, you need to follow me. So swipe right on an iOS device or swipe up on an Android device and click on the follow button because then you have them locked in for your next show. And then you're going to watch it because many people don't ask for a follow. It's like salespersons. One of the number one sale mistakes people do is not asking for the sale. They're just not asking. They're talking and talking and talking and don't close the deal. The same thing on Periscope. Ask them to follow you also at the end. And the last thing is, many people also don't know about it, Periscope always sticks like between 5 to 15 seconds, they cut out. Just because of the transaction and so on, they cut it simply out. So if you have the most important part in the end, and you directly end it, no one will get it. And it will be pretty bad, you know? So the fifth thing is like the last 5 to 15 seconds, talk about something like, well, I wish you a very nice day and so on, and thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you tomorrow and so on. But not something which is really important, you know, just ending the show slowly. Maybe you do something and say, oh, I'm looking forward to it. Some people end with a word like bye and do something crazy like this, you know.
Okay.
Do something funny, you know. So that's the 5 things you should do at the end. And this helps you to grow from show of the show, you know.
Cool. Yeah, that's an awesome tip. So yeah, that was my question. I know that I'm gonna let Khalid kind of talk here, but also I sent you an email about doing a blab about your Conscope, your Conscope TV and your tag post. I sent you an email about that. I think it's awesome. So I wanted to kind of interview on that because I think it's incredible. I connected with so many people just yesterday by using it. So I want to say that I appreciate you doing that.
Cool. Awesome. I love that. Conscope. Thank you so much, Morgan.
Hey, no problem.
For follow me.
I did. I'm following you. I'm real because I've never actually followed you before. I just saw Alex Khan. I was like, I've seen him all the time, and I've been watching his scopes, and the tips I've gotten has just helped me out a ton. So I was like, I gotta talk to Alex Khan. But then I saw you, and then I see you getting some good value, so I'm gonna follow you now. I'll pop in your scope. I'm gonna be there.
All right, so. Thank you. I'll show you how to rock your interview talk all the way to the bank. Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Let's go. I need it. I got a lot of blabs scheduled, so I'm gonna come in your scope.
All right. Khalid, baby. Hi.
Hey. What's
I'm gonna
up,
let you
Alex?
go, Morgan, just in case somebody else wants to go in, but I don't want to be rude. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, Khalid, there you are. We got Steven. Yay, Steven, your biggest fan. He gave you about 5,000 feels. He's got to come in. Come on in.
Amazing. He really, I never talked to him, and he gave so many feels already. Seriously, I could buy Periscope and we'll get like $1 per feel.
He's amazing.
Seriously,
come on in,
it's
Steven.
amazing.
The seat is open. Khalid.
Yeah, Steven, come in. And Khalid, I look up to you. Actually,
Hey, what's up, Alex? I'm Raven's husband. I'm upstairs in my studio while she's downstairs in hers.
Awesome.
But I got a 2-part question for you. But one of the things did you guys know that they changed it? Now it's like give props instead of give feels. Did you?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, I love that. I love that better.
I mean, click to give props. I thought that was cool. You know. Okay, and Alex, for you, I want you to do me a favor if you can, if you feel like this will work. Share your single most effective value add that you've done out of all the scopes and blabs and whatever you've done. And then the second part of that is share your single most effective call to action that you've done.
So the first one is pretty easy because it's basically Conscope. I think that this is the stream yesterday. I think can really change not only really caring about not only my scope, because I'm growing pretty steadily between like 1,000, 1,300 a day followers, and it works out. No matter what I'm doing, I'm sticking with the topic, and it works out. But I think Conscope can be really a difference because I'm reaching 8 times more people in one day than the maximum I could reach. Wow. And so that's basically the thing I'm really passionate about and I love. And the second question, what was it again?
The single most effective call to action that you've implemented that worked for you big time.
Okay, let me think. I mean, it's a process. I don't think that there's one call to action which works like crazy. It needs to fit into your topic. It needs to hook something. What I like to do is I like to go on BuzzFeed when it goes to the title and take a look at those titles. They are sometimes so amazingly great, especially it's when you take a look at the content, when you click on it, you're really disappointed. I mean, I'm not saying this, but if you have great content, think of a great title because it starts like this, because the first click is on the push notification or on the title on the global tab or on your feed. It's the title. The title and the picture is so tremendously important, and some people don't really think about it. So that's a very important part of the call to action. And next to it for a call to action, I mean, the most important call to action probably is like share this broadcast, which makes you grow, you know. But it always depends. It must be always a consequence. As I said, like, for example, you give a sneak peek, and in that moment you say like, follow me. Or you gave some value, some great value. You ask the people, was this great? The people say yes. Okay, great. You just agreed with me. So do it, you know, so share this broadcast. So it's a consequence. It's not our sentence, the magical sentence, you say it and boom, it works. It's unfortunately not working like that.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. Does anyone else want to jump in the hot seat? We're going to get ready to close it out. Wow. I'm just, not really amazed, but of course that word comes out, but you have given so much value. You definitely on the action, the attention, and the add value part, but even beyond that, just sharing from your heart, sharing your story, even your funny story. Hey, Chocolate Johnny, how you doing? You're welcome to come in. Anyone else? We got time for someone else. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, like I said, for saying yes. This has truly been a pleasure. Getting to know the man behind the scope. So you definitely know how to rock it, and you share some stuff that we can all take and really elevate the level of our scopes and our blabs, because the information you shared is for both. I love your tips on promoting, and I want to just encourage people to get out there and promote your stuff. Be proud. One of the things for sure, you have to be proud of your platform. And I did a scope a week ago where we talked about taking your blab or your scope beyond, moving it from just a blab or a scope to a movement, because it really is what we start is a movement, kind of like with your con scopes, you know what I'm saying? A movement behind our message to take it viral and to help as many people as we can in our niche, the people that I always say people are always looking for the leaders, but sometimes they can't find them. Well, now with Blab and with Periscope and with Zoom and all these other great things, people can find us and they can resonate. They'll say, okay, I like you for this. I like this person for this. And there's plenty for everybody, guys. So don't get stuck in a rut trying to be like anybody else. Be yourself. Implement those 3 A's. Again, action, attention, and add value. Even if you just did nothing else but those, you cannot go wrong. Final comments, Alex, as we close out, that you want to share, anything that you didn't share, you want to share with everyone.
I mean, there is so much to say, but I want to say about live streaming itself, no matter if it's like Periscope or it's like Blab, understand that it's the first 5 minutes of this new media. We are really in a new world, and you can play a big part in it if you stick with it, if you use it. Just imagine if you have been in the first 5 minutes of Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, you will probably have like 100,000 or millions of thousands of fans and have reached your network like crazy. And your network is your net worth. So no matter which business you are, you need to expand your network. And Periscope is an awesome and great way for doing it.
I love what Ian and Jay Gavin said. Periscope and Blab make us all broadcasters. Absolutely. I told you I have my station. 247.com. We reached 4.5 million listeners in 157 countries. I'm excited about this and bringing this to my host, because now on top of the people we already reached, we have Blab and Periscope, which I'm sure reach way more than what we reach. This is an opportunity, guys, for everyone to get their message out. And don't focus on what you don't have as far as audience and props and hearts and all the thing, what they call the little exciting things there that everybody gets excited about. Focus on your message. Focus on pleasing your audience. Focus on, implementing the action, the attention, and the add value, and all the stuff that you heard, not only from Alex, but from Ryan Steinelson, and also from Africa, Miranda, and for all the people that we're going to have coming up tomorrow. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. If anybody else wants to jump in real quickly, feel free. And again, my name is Raven, the talk show maven, known by many as the queen of internet radio and interview conversion. I teach people how to do exactly what you see me do today. How to get out there and ask, we call the irresistible ask, the experts like Alex and like Africa and also like Ryan and all the other people that we're going to have on tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Ryan Bell, who's going to be coming on. And after that, on Thursday, we have, we have so many people on Thursday. I got to get my notes. We got a whole lot. Let's see. We have Mark Shaw. We also have Robert Stern. We have Dr. John D. Martini. And it's just going to be a great week. Friday, we got Kathy Hackle. And we also are just going to be speaking with tons of people, bringing this message out to you so you can really know how to rock your scopes. And whether you're interviewing or delivering content, just get out there and get your message seen. I think we got someone else, and it's Lucia. Lucia, I'm slaughtering the name again, Lucia. Come on back. Try us. We're going to see if she can come in, and then we'll let you go. And you guys, I'm going to be interviewed by Sade. So if you want to check her out at 6 o'clock, you can go to her. There's her. I'll do that. You can follow her on there and come hear my story. But until then, I guess anyone going once, going twice? Oh, her camera stopped working. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you, Green, for the great show. I appreciate it. Thank you, Alex. You rock it. You rock it. You're so awesome. You're so authentic.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm Raven, the talk show maven. You've been tuned in to Careers from the Kitchen Table, the show that teaches how to cook without the cooking, giving you some good old home recipes for your business success. Please follow me. Stay tuned. Join me in the morning for Rock Your Interview Talk. And you know what, guys? I love you. I appreciate you. And keep on doing those scopes and blab. Be yourself. And don't forget Alex' awesome A's: action, attention, and added value. That's it, y'all. That's a wrap. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you again. That's a wrap. We're going to wrap it up. Join me on Sade's. You can look her up probably on business or general or under interview. She'll be interviewing me about my story, and you can learn how I was able to teach myself from an ICU unit of a hospital how to interview, how to start a radio show. And I'm just so excited I did. You can't help but get excited about interviewing top experts. I'm passionate about showing each and every one of you how. I want to give a special shout out to Regina and Mary and Regina Clay, because we have many Reginas, Mary, also Dean, my husband, colleague, and for all of you joined, thank you. AWOP Talk, you rock. I love you. Couldn't do it without you guys. And I'm excited about you. And guess what, guys? I will see you around on the Blab and Periscope forum. Follow me. Come check out my interviews. I'm known for interviewing the best of the best. And I want to get to know you as well. Bye-bye. Good night. Thank you, everybody.